Understand that I don't wanna play your game.
The Earth is very flat.
What's going on, everybody? It's Friday, July 9th, 2021. This is Brandon, host of Brandon's Show. How are y'all doing tonight? We've got Anthony Burrows, Paul Cruikshank, page 42, Bill G, Helen Degenerates, RH, and page 42 was first tonight. Congratulations, Paige. The prize is in the mail. Sounds good. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that as always, sir. And tonight we're going to, yes, Friday Night Fights. I'm going to try to do something a little differently because I don't think that no moderation is working, certainly. I think we've proven that. Sometimes better than others, but last week was particularly, I don't know, I want to say bad. It was just, well, yeah, it was bad. Everybody was talking over each other constantly. And it was particularly annoying. So I'm going to try to, if there is some kind of one-on-one or conversation that is, I don't know, kind of developing between a couple people or a few people, pull them into a smaller room and let them go at it, a smaller number of people. We'll see if this works. Let people call each other out and go on a little one-on-one debates or two-on-two or something like that. Try to do that, and then try to cut down too on the over talking. If there are people who are just continually over talking, I'll probably be muting them because it's very annoying. The idea is not to have everybody over talking each other. It's just to let people say whatever they want to say and talk about whatever they want to talk about. That's the idea. But anyway, we'll see how that works out. And we've got a few people in Discord already, so let's go. What's up, guys? Happy Friday. What's up? We're live now. I was just it's supposed to be Friday Night Fights. Yeah? Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. In general, yeah, there's like some stereotypes, I guess, both ways. Yeah. Why do you ask? Oh, oh, okay. Yeah. Right, right. Yeah, and it's not like military people hate civilians. I guess occasionally people will. Yeah. Oh, really? I see the sound coming through. Sound issues. Oh, okay. All right, let me restart it, guys. Okay. Had a bit of a restart there, folks. Hopefully you can hear the desktop audio now. Say something in Discord, guys.
Mic check.
It looks like
laser line arches.
Support the troops.
Anyways, oh, go ahead. Sounds roboting for Discord. That's better. Okay, we're all good now. Must have just been a weird error. It happens every once in a while. So we usually do Friday night fights. I want to try to keep the over talking to a minimum because last week we were like out of control, and it was just constant people talking over each other.
I
So
don't think I don't think people realize that when two people are talking, nobody can hear either one of you. So you're just talking, and then when 3 or 4 people start talking, forget about it. I mean, you can't make anything out. You're just talking to hear yourself at that point.
Can you make a code word so they know when you're done? Like done.
Say over.
Over.
Why not? Over.
I don't know that that's necessary, but I thought we could go to some kind of format where if you want to have a one-on-one, or if two people are going at it on a particular topic, I can pull them into one of these other rooms and let them go at it.
Basketball Jones, baby, 1-on-1 against the world.
Yeah, kind of. So if Jeremy and I don't know, let's say magical demonic, whatever the fuck his name is right now, start talking about refraction and they're going back and forth, just pull you guys into a room. Or if people want to challenge somebody else to a debate on a particular topic, just have a quick one-off, pull you into another room, let you go at it. What do you guys think about that? You got any ideas? I guess I'm looking for ideas more than anything for how we can keep the...
So what would the one-off room entail? Like, is that live? Is it just between them? Or I mean, like, how does that, what is it?
Yeah, it would be live because I don't think there's a way I can mute the whole room at the same time. And there's usually 30 people in here, so...
If we could just learn how to have a little bit of mic discipline, we'd be all right.
Oh yeah, but he's talking about an idea for like a pushover from like 2 people to like... That way it's just those 2, doing their thing. But I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. If everybody has good mic discipline, it'd be fine.
Yeah, I mean, we get out of control every once in a while. It's not a big deal. I'm just trying to think of ideas to keep it to a minimum.
Anybody that wants to go one-on-one, I'll take them on.
You could set up roles like they do on 24/7 in the arena. And so
Brandon, that's a fucking awesome idea, man.
Only the people that have the gladiator role are the only ones that can speak.
Hey, I'm late to the party, man. Can you tell me what I heard, like the one-on-one, like going to a different room? Can you fill me in a little bit?
Yeah, I thought maybe on Friday night fights we can, if you want to call somebody out or you want to have a one-on-one or even a 2-on-2 or whatever, I can pull you guys into another room. And we can do it there so that it's kind of contained to those people, let them go at it. Same Friday night fight idea where it's almost no moderation in that little space, but just trying to think of ways to cut down on the over talking and still have people
Yeah, dude, that's
Wouldn't that stop
that is
the
a
rest
great
of us
idea,
from hearing
man.
it, though?
What's that, Bob?
Wouldn't that stop the rest of us from hearing it, though?
Yeah, that's the only problem. Somebody would have to, keep YouTube up or something and play it in this room if you guys wanted to watch it. And then if you wanted to watch it, you could look at it.
Okay.
Or not, you don't have to. You guys can just keep doing shit in the room while that's going on. We'll come back.
Yeah, we could mute Discord and go watch it until they're done. But yeah,
we know what
you
they have.
you should set time limits to it, man, like a 10-minute time limit or something. And just loose rules, nothing major, but loose rules. And that's a great.
Right,
yeah, anytime somebody wants to challenge somebody, it's a great idea, bro.
Yeah, you know what they have on 24/7? They have a groovy bot or something. It'll play anything you want. So you could have the live stream of this feeding into that and playing it in this room.
Yeah.
Hey, how do I find the arena? I couldn't find. I went to 24/7 trying to find some arena arguments, and I couldn't find them. How do you find them?
No idea, man. But yeah, I can look at setting up a bot like that. If there's somebody who wants to volunteer to play it in here, that might work for now.
Whenever put you on it.
Whenever you want to mute everybody, Brandon, you can always enable the push to talk for everybody. That way, all the people that doesn't have that, they will not be able to speak. You know, like most of
Yeah.
the people don't use that. That's one way, like, to silence the entire room real quick, and then so you can get hold of it. Just a tip.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's an idea. I'll have to figure that out. Paige says, please stop saying one-on-one in a room. Huh. Hey, you never know what you're going to get here. Okay, so we'll give that a try. We'll mess around with it. So if you want to talk to someone or have a debate with someone about a particular topic, feel free to call them out. And I do like the idea of a time limit, just so it doesn't end up taking the whole show, because there are certain people who can keep a conversation going indefinitely, which is cool, but we don't want to be gone for the whole thing. So make it like 10 minutes. Does 10 minutes sound reasonable?
Yeah, because then you could have another challenge later. You could do a few of them. And if you keep it short, you could, if we're all interested in it, and they could agree to let it go on, or they could change it up, or go back to the main room. Just keep loose rules, And if anybody challenges somebody, then hell yeah, I would listen. I'd join every now and then. I'd listen for the most part. That's a great idea, man.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, I'll figure out a way to do it technically so we can have it a little bit easier in the future, where people can listen but don't have the ability to talk or rebroadcast it, like someone said. So, all right, cool. Sounds like we're all in agreement on that. So let's get going. So what's going on?
So listen what Bob told me, man, and because they Al K, I think it was, or it might have been Toady, called him out over there at Jose's. He's like, Brian said that you said there was wire, obviously it's wires and green screen, and he didn't deny it. I mean, he had a little bit of sarcasm in his voice, but he did not deny it, and because he said it definitively over and over. He wasn't gonna argue with me because he knows what he sees, but he said he also pointed out, look at the badge, like what color don't you see in the badges or anywhere on the screen, or they're make it sound like their equipment or something like that, implying that nothing's green. If it was green, it like maybe it wouldn't be there or something. That's what he was implying. And I haven't looked yet, but if it is a green screen, then they can't have nothing green, or it would be invisible, right? Ain't that how that works?
Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't looked at to see if he
Depending on the
was wearing
state,
green,
depending on if they're using blue screen.
oh yeah, you can pick whatever chroma color you want, right?
Yeah, you can do green screen, red screen, blue screen, probably different. Yeah,
Yeah, good
who
point.
knows?
Yeah, people get really upset when we talk about the Challenger thing.
Once you've done the green screen and isolated that footage, you can then put the green back in. Just
Why would they get upset at us for something the government did?
Oh, I think people think it's like denigrating the dead or disrespecting people who died.
We didn't send them up there. I didn't even know those people.
Yeah, people are touchy about it. I don't know why. I guess if you're a true believer and you think that it's real, and people are sitting there saying it's fake, I guess I could see.
Dude, the guy pulled their birth certificate, went to vital statistics and pulled up the twins, and they didn't have no fucking twins. One of them was from Hawaii. The other one was from and they went to vital statistics, named their mother, their father, and who they gave birth to, and what year, their brother, sister. They didn't. Neither one of them had fucking twins. Okay, at least not vital statistics. Anyway, did it?
If people are that goofy to think that the CIA or Hollywood or NASA or FBI or just the military don't do goofy, insane shit, or hasn't for a long time, and the heads and the directors, these are just regular people too, and some of them are nuts. Have you ever had somebody in your family or somebody you knew just go nuts out of nowhere, or just be insane from a certain point of view, like their certain point of thinking? Like, these people run the government too, so who knows?
Yeah, I know a guy who lost it.
Yeah, I had a cousin who would sit in his basement for years and just do different hallucinogenics and read fucking philosophy books and do all kinds of weird shit. People, he was smart as fuck, very smart. But he got in a weird headspace. Yeah, it happens. But yeah, that's the thing that bothers me when people start saying, "Oh, the government couldn't do that or wouldn't do that." It's like, what do you think all those spy agencies are doing? What kind of shit do you think they're pulling? Okay, maybe they're not doing this. Let's say they're not doing this. What are they doing? You don't think they're pulling some insane shit? They've got smart people working for them. They're creative. They're going to come up with a creative way. So you have to think creatively to try to figure out what they're doing. I don't know. That's the way I've always looked at it.
I put a picture in the main chat. When 9/11 happened, the Solicitor General of the United States was this guy, Ted Olson, and his wife was on the plane that allegedly crashed into the Pentagon. And so he claimed that he got a cell phone call from her while the flight was going on, and she described what was going on. And so that was kind of how they knew early on that it was like Islamic hijackers. But you can look at the picture. He ended up remarrying this lady whose name was Lady Booth, and who happened to also be a lawyer like his wife. And they just look very, very similar.
Yeah, who knows what they pull, you know? A lot of people think that Epstein was an asset in what's her name. So if they're pulling honeypot operations or whatever the hell they're doing, what else are they doing?
I think that Black Ops don't actually exist. It's just a video game.
I think some people do think that. I think they think it's just the movies that this stuff takes place. I don't think very often we're going to find a document that says we pulled this Black Ops and yada yada, because even even decades later, they don't want to give away their methods. Right? They could be still using the same methods. Might not even be the same people involved, but it could be the same methods. Let's say they figured out a way to get somebody in control of some media organization. That media organization might exist or one like it. They're doing the same thing now. They don't want to tell you that they did it 80 years ago, because then you're going to start asking questions about what they're doing now. Oh,
Absolutely. Anyway. That whole thing when they're supposed to release all the records or Freedom of Information Act, there's things they'll never tell you. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, Trump couldn't get the stuff from the JFK assassination. They had a bunch of stuff they were supposed to release, and they never did.
Yeah, exactly. And they always say the same thing. They want to protect their methods.
Some of it might not even be government. Like, did you ever stop to think that? Like, these people aren't keeping records like that. It could be other organizations making shit happen.
Well, yeah, there is. Look at what Scientology did. They infiltrated the IRS and other institutions, I think.
That's one of the way they get around FOIA requests, is that they'll contract out to a private company, and then the FOIA request doesn't cover, the communications, the paperwork from the private company.
Yeah, set up front organizations, exactly. And then we didn't do it, so the paper trail never leads back to them. It's not the CIA, it's some company XYZ or some contractor or whatever.
Yeah, you gotta have, plausible deniability, is it called?
Right, and they're going to build that stuff into these operations, the plausible deniability and the excuses, and try to hide the paper trail along the way. So there's always going to be what's that, Rob?
I just said that's probably why we need such astronomical defense budgets.
Oh, the amount of money we spend on defense in the United States, particularly, is insane. And who knows what they're spending off the books. They've been caught illicitly raising funds in various ways multiple times. So who knows?
They have the part of the Pentagon budget that's called the black budget. And under Reagan, like it increased dramatically. And I think by 1990, they were spending more money than the Department of Education, the Department of Transportation, and the EPA all combined on black budget. And it was as much money as the federal government spent on health care.
Just on the black budget.
Yes. That's
Damn.
why I say in Japan they have bullet trains. In America we just have bullets.
That's interesting. Hey, I watched a video the other day, and I think we brought up a couple of still shots from this. Let me share my screen. It's called Our Spherical Vision on a Flat Earth. Have any of you guys watched this yet? There, I'm sharing now. I don't know who it was originally put out by. I saw it on Billy Zigg's channel. Let me see. Here's a link. Exploring the Plane, it looks like. Yeah. And says, this is a summary of my research into our spherical vision and globe Earth deception, looking at works by Thomas Reed. Anybody watch this? Gavin is in it. And there's a bunch of different, I don't know, they're mathematicians or different people that are featured in it and their ideas. And it talks a little bit about the history of optics and geometry. Nobody watched this?
Nope.
Nah, I haven't seen it.
I love that graph though.
What, this one right here?
Yeah, 10 miles.
What about the rods and cones in the eye? Has anybody ever looked into that? Is it really rods and cones?
I don't know.
And would that have anything to do with how we see things, whether we thought we saw particles or not? Because the way our eye has a rod or a cone, and that's like the way that we take things in, through a rod or a cone or like a particle type idea.
No idea. I don't know enough about how vision works. But you guys should check this out. I'll put the link in the Discord here so you have it.
On our side, that would be cool.
Yeah, there it is. And it's really interesting. It talks about the idea being that they turned the way we see. This is something we always talk about, is that they turned the way we see into the physical ground that we're standing on. Hijack perspective, in other words.
We're probably seeing things amongst other effects, perspective and other effects. I'm guessing that the atmosphere is magnifying shit, and that's the reason for the apparent optical drop that you're seeing. You see, or not drop, but things cut off by the horizon. Because I mean, Steve showed it in his video, so it's like, yo, they could be doing that. They say it's not, and they know it's not. They know how refraction works, but they don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start getting back into this stuff. I was researching all this stuff for a long time. It is really interesting. But this is one of the better videos I've seen. It's right up there with, what's his name? Life is Short. Life is Short's work. This is pretty good.
Well, if light, hold on, I was going to say, if light, if it refracts down and makes shit appear higher, I mean, I see what they're saying with that, and it's possible. I think about it a lot. But if it's refracting upward and makes shit seem lower off in the distance, I mean, that's the only time that happens, is shit way off in the distance, And so I would say, they try and say a density gradient, but the water is pretty much the water. We know water vapor is way less dense than the air around it, and where is going to be the highest concentration of the water vapor? Right above the water and above the ground, and it dissipates all the way up to they say pressure has the second most impact. It's density, then pressure, and then temperature has the third most impact. But so we know that the water vapor is way less dense than air around it. So it thins out as it gets higher, and it eventually stops. So that would be a pretty consistent gradient, man. So I have no problem with the sun setting. I think I'm almost done with my refraction model, and where just a little upward refraction off in the distance. And it's all.
I mean, have they done a refraction test where they checked for the temperature? Like have it colder on the bottom or on the top like it is, and then hotter on. I don't know. I feel like they haven't done enough.
They base it on Snell's law and all that shit and what they do in labs, and they do it to match their model, and they haven't even, in my opinion, done that sufficiently, in my opinion. But they've done it. They got an explanation anyway. But what we're talking about is over long distances, man, and there's so many variables, and we would know as good as anybody. Look at all the long distance observations we've studied, just hour after hour. Especially the people behind the camera, like Travis and Randy and them. I've spent a considerable amount of time doing long distance photography and shit. It's just, I don't know, man. It's I don't think they'll ever know 100%, but it's either, to me, it's either ground bending, it's the ground bending or the light bending. It ain't both, in my opinion.
Hang on. Then you stare at one picture for 200 hours, and all of a sudden you're a globe head again. Shout out to Randy.
Oh shit!
How much training do they do to go do stuff on the ISS or whatever? When they do the training, do they just explain stories, or do they actually have to do training on material and suits and stuff? Or do they just give stories like they give that for everything else? You know what I mean? Like you just explain.
You're gonna deny the ISS, but
I want you to imagine.
You're negligent for not actually looking at it for yourself.
The ISS. How would you know how to work on it when you've never been there?
It's up there, dude. All you have to do is look at it through a telescope with a star tracker.
Okay.
You're negligent for not looking at it. It's your fault.
So my question was to you, that you non-question answer. Listen, for whatever you're making up, Narnia, listen. My question was, do they
I'm not making nothing up. I've seen it for myself.
Listen, do they explain everything, right?
It's up there, dude.
Or they show tangible stuff. Now, do you got to get in a suit? Do you got to get on this hitchemalizer to do the hitchemalizer, whatever? You know what I mean? Like the transducer, reducer, combobulator 2000 over the 100. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there one on Earth? Or you just take the word of, hey, this is how you do the transducer 3000. I want you to move 3 steps to the right. Imagine you're doing this. Imagine you got a wrench. Imagine your hands in a suit. Imagine it's going to be hard. You know what I mean?
I'd say this 14.7 pounds per square inch is a lot of freaking pressure. That's like I think 40 tons per cubic meter or some shit. I forgot, but it's a lot, dude. And there's no difference between it being 14.7 and a vacuum outside the ISS than it is being a vacuum here, that we make a vacuum here on Earth, and the 14.7 pressure around it. It's still the same amount of pounds per square inch, and they don't have a sufficient structure in their suits even, man, to withstand that crazy pressure differential, man. We don't talk about that a lot, but man, that's a hell of a pressure differential they're claiming, dude. No way that shit would withstand it. Look at a vacuum rail car, just implodes when it gets down to 1/4 of 14 psi. So when it gets down to like 2 atmospheres, the steel rail car just implodes, man, instantly. It's crazy.
No, what we're supposed to talk about is physical ability to physically do real stuff, and say that's what you're going to have to do in space, but do it right here. But you don't have to have a model of a rocket landing upside down. You don't have to have a little toy, anything, anywhere in a lab, doing anything for a vacuum or anything. But when it comes to doing stuff with a person, you have to actually have the object to do it, right?
Dude,
how did it get up there? Hey, how did it get up there, Dima? Because it
Wait, look,
wasn't
in my
awful
opinion,
the way it looks now. It
Who's
went
they?
up there in segments. They built it in segments, right?
I have no clue what you're talking about. Can you do that right now on the ground and show us and put one up there?
Is that just your default response to what I say?
Yeah, a toy
Claims,
when we're
him
talking about
demanding
a
you
toy
show
when-
him the actual
toy
demonstration of your claims.
Hold
Why
on.
would that not be the default position of everybody ever?
Right,
Yeah,
a
just
toy
back
when
up.
working live.
No, and then sent
Toy
up there.
A toy one, please. A little toy one in the science lab and
It's up there.
and the
How is it
National
going to get up
Geographic.
there?
let me say something, y'all. Let me say something real
Trade it
quick.
up there?
They have them capsules, man. I'm not sure if I showed a bunch of them on my video. I think I showed at least one or two. They got these capsules. One of them's called like Earth, like something Earth, you know, and they're real strong little capsules with windows on them, them real thick glass windows, and they're made to bust people up high altitudes, like 100,000, probably 120,000 feet easily, with the balloons, and they could sell tickets for probably $2,000, man, depending on if they use hydrogen or helium. But and there's a bunch of these fucking things, but a couple for sure that I could show you, and they can't send them up because of the bullshit they're showing us, man. Like all the bullshit they're showing us, whatever's going on that they don't want us to see. So they're. I mean, I would be shocked if there's not some kind of station up there. I mean, in my opinion, there's something fucking up there that we see. It's some kind of capsule, but because of fucking the shit they're hiding and not being honest is the reason we can't get a tickets for these capsules we know that they have. And for a reasonable price, we could all go up fucking real high, man. And
Well,
they won't do it. They've had them forever.
What is the argument here that because obviously there's something up there that people film, they look at through telescopes, they catch it going in front of the sun. There's an object up there that's roughly shaped by what they say, like what they say is the ISS, right?
Right, Brandon.
but what does
exactly
that
my
prove?
point.
So what?
But hold on, it wasn't always like that. It didn't always look like that. It went up there in segments.
How do
and
you know
they
that?
have pictures of that.
How
Hold
do
on, let
you
him finish.
know
Let
that?
him finish. Let him finish. Go ahead.
They have progression of it.
From the ground?
What do you mean from the ground?
Well, you said it hasn't always looked like that.
Well, yeah, they built it in segments, dude. Just like you build a house, you're not gonna just have a house. Like it takes time. Just like
Yeah.
it took time to build the ISS.
But what?
So
how
you're
is that
saying
pertinent to anything?
Hold on,
So what?
Brandon.
They built it in
Do you
segments.
think
So what?
they took the ISS up there in its entirety the way it is right now?
No, who cares?
Is
Who
that what
cares how
you
they built
think?
it? I don't understand.
What do you mean? Who cares?
What's
It
your
obviously
point?
matters, right?
What's your
My
point?
point is there's pictures of the progression of how it's being built.
So what?
Well, it's up there. So how can
Why
you
would the
deny
ISS have to
it?
follow the magnetic lines, man? Why do they follow the? They say that they follow the ley lines or whatever you call them up there. Why would, if it's gravity and they're free falling, why would they have to follow the magnetic line?
But okay, I don't know about that, but so what? They've got something up there. All right, let's say, yeah, there's something up there. We can
So
see it
how
with
is
a
it going to stay
telescope.
up
We know
there?
there's something that's
What
flying around,
way
right?
can it stay up there? Let's think about it. Are we gonna put gas up there? Because when you in your car, you just can't get it to go, right? You need to put gas in it, and it needs to have an engine in there and oil and all kinds of stuff for you to get your car to move. So how is that ISS up there moving? Let's think about it a little bit.
They must
Yeah.
be free falling. They must
Are
be
you
free
claiming?
falling.
Are you claiming to know all the ways that we can make things move? You don't think that they have knowledge that you don't?
What are you talking about?
You didn't understand the question?
So what, do they have some sort of like perpetual
I don't know. That's what I'm
fuel
asking you.
system?
I don't know.
They
That's
got
what I'm
flying
asking you.
it up
You're
there?
claiming to know everything.
I don't
Well,
know
at
if
the end,
anybody's
at
seen
the
my
end of
last
the day,
video.
NASA rocks. Like, what verification do you personally have that you feel validates that it is the ISS and is not something else entirely?
Because I looked at it with my own eyes, not on any NASA video, but with my own eyes through a telescope.
What else
I
can you
seen
see
it.
250 miles away?
And
that time?
what did you
Just out of
see?
curiosity.
You saw something that had the outline of what they claim the ISS is, but still, that's not verification
Wait.
that that's what it is.
You saw it with
Okay,
your
but
naked
how
eye.
did
What is the
something-
size? What is
Hold
the size
on.
of the ISS if you saw it with your
He's
naked eye?
asking me a question. Silent. Can you stay silent, please? Thanks. Yes, I verified it for myself, but it's up there. So we know something is up there, right? So how
Can I ask you a
something
question
like that
on
be up
this
there?
verification, dude? I'm quite intrigued to this. The claim
Well,
is
how
it's
else-
where. Go on, let me just ask you the question because I'm asking for your knowledge here. So you've said it's at 250 miles, and that means it must be doing a certain distance as you track it, as you visually observe it. If it wasn't 250 miles, say it was 50 miles or 20 miles, would it be have to go the same speed to comport with your
Going pretty fucking
presupposition?
fast because we
Well,
we were only able
if
to
it was
watch it like a
if it
certain
was
amount of time
if
while it was in
if
the
it was
sky.
at 10 miles, if it was at 10 miles, would it be outside of the realms of speed that we could already achieve to achieve that effect?
It's
Well,
same
we
speed
know
as an
that
airplane.
planes fly about 500 miles per hour.
So the answer
You
being
know,
no,
like
it
a
would be
regular
perfectly.
airliner.
So at
So
that
if we're
height, it would
claiming
be
that
perfectly
it's like some
possible.
balloon up there,
No,
I've never seen a balloon travel 17,500 miles an hour.
I didn't try and claim what it was. I said if it wasn't at 250 miles, if it was at a much lower altitude, yeah, we wouldn't have to have the same astronomical speed that is required at 250 miles. And if we were say at
But
5
here's
miles,
the-
10, let me finish, dude. Come on, you've chatted for a while.
Okay.
Let me make the point, and then you can address the point. Yeah. So
Sure.
if it was at 5 miles, then the speed required would be within the permits of what we could manufacture, falsify right now. So when you look through your telescope, how do you verify that it is 250 miles away? Because that seems the pertinent point. To your claim and mine, how have you verified that the object you're tracking is that distance away?
Okay, when we were viewing it, the guy explained to me, okay, you're not going to be able to see it for too long because it goes out of view, right? Obviously, it's going at a place where you can't see it anymore. It's orbiting the Earth.
I mean, I didn't
But
ask you
they
to
said
explain that.
You
tracking,
can see
did
it
I?
in the next in another 20 minutes or so when it's back in view. Now, how can that happen? Like,
When a
about it.
plane takes off from the airport, do I see it for 4 hours on its 4-hour journey, or do I see it for a very short time, especially if it's lower to the ground? Could I comport those two things and do mathematics to figure out what's to be the right altitude, right speed to match these things from a particular, as what Brandon was talking about earlier, particular individual sphere of view?
You're just come on, man. Come on.
No, I'm addressing
You're
the.
just throwing bullshit out.
Okay, yeah, let's go back to the claim then. How do you verify that the thing you're tracking to be doing those astronomical speeds is at 250 miles to fit in with everything else that you're doing? Because that's important, isn't it? That
Because it's
verification.
fucking up there at 250
it's
miles,
up there.
okay?
How did you get your ruler out? Your 250-mile ruler out?
There's no way we see it at that height. Not even nowhere near that height.
No. It doesn't matter. Let's imagine we could.
He's not going to
How do
answer
you
your question
verify that's the distance?
because he says it's 250 miles.
Because the
That's
bloke
distance.
said, as he
There's
said
no
earlier.
way else it could be anything else. It
There's
can't
no-
be anything
I've
else.
just explained to you how it could be something else, didn't I? How it could be something travel at a slower speed,
Okay, you
at a
said
lower
how
altitude.
can a plane travel that fast?
He wasn't listening.
At 5
when you
miles.
explained.
Hey, you mind if I answer that question?
The
Can you
ISS
verify
moves
it?
across the sky about the speed of a plane. That's how fast it moves.
If something, listen, bro, if something is going at 1 mile per hour and it crosses right next to your face, you're gonna see it pass really fast, right? So that thing doesn't need to go really fast. It can be 10 miles away and it's going just 100 miles per hour, or like an airplane, and you're gonna see it go across the sun so fast. So
let me put it to sleep.
It doesn't make sense.
Let me just say
You're saying it's
something
really
before we
close.
get too
You
much
guys are
further
saying
along,
it's
because
really
there's a lot of
close.
people that join after we started the show. If you want to have a one-on-one with somebody, just say so, and I'll pull you into another room. There's a 10-minute time limit, and then the main room can listen to the one-on-one on YouTube. So if you feel like you want to challenge someone to a one-on-one, just let me know, and I'll pull you into the debate room, and we'll do that and come back. So that's the new thing we're doing on Fridays to allow people to have one-on-one.
Hey, Brandon, I want to answer that question he asked about how do you verify the distance, the altitude of the ISS. And the answer to that question is, it's a couple of amateur astronomers on YouTube that did the math and verified altitude of the ISS. They
I'll
use,
take Khalid one-on-one. I'll take Khalid one-on-one if y'all are interested.
who was that? Brian?
Did they say that they use triangulation?
Yeah, triangulate.
Yeah, you can't triangulate a moving object. That's not how triangulation
Pull you
works.
guys into the other room.
Trigonometry.
Of course you can triangulate a moving object. The fuck are you talking about? Two people take the same observation at the same...
All right, guys. So, Brian, what did you want to challenge Master Kalik to talk about? Where you going, Master Kalik? You running away? He doesn't want to do it, Brian.
Picture. If two people at the same moment
What's
take
wrong,
a
Master
picture
Kalik?
of the same object, in those pictures, is the object moving?
I'm curious, how would you
What's
verify
wrong,
that they
Master
took a
Kalik?
picture
How
at the
come you
same
ran
moment?
away? I pulled you into the other room for a one-on-one with Brian. He challenged you, and you ran away.
Listen, I keep getting kicked off the voice
You
call.
dummy.
I'm here.
Did you listen to what I said just 2 minutes ago? If you want a one-on-one, call it out. I'll pull you and the other person into the other room.
Well, somebody just called me out. I'm with it.
I pulled you into the other room, and then you kept jumping out.
No, it kept saying join a voice call.
No, I'm pulling you into the other room. Just go over
Go
there.
ahead.
Keep your mic open, and you should be able to talk, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, Baldo. Go ahead. Continue what you were saying. Apologize.
No, I'm sorry. I came in hot as well. So, of course you can triangulate a moving object.
Okay. You guys there? Let me just make sure. Damn it. Hold on. I don't have this worked out real well yet. Master Cleek keeps running away. Can you hear me? Speak. Speak.
Hello.
Hello. There you are. Now Brian ran away. Hold on. What is wrong with them? Brian. Brian. Hello. Brian. What did you have to do, Master Kalik, when I pulled you over here? Did you have to do anything on your end? Oh, God.
Agree that we can't triangulate the position of a moving object. Does any flat earther disagree?
Hey, hold on a second. Hold on a second. So, hey, Master Kalik and Brian Leakey, what
Keep in
happened
mind
when
what
I
he
pulled
just
you
said.
over there?
Triangulate the position of a moving object.
Yes, absolutely. I understand
Hey,
the words that I
Master
said.
Kalik
That's
and
why I
Brian
used
Leakey,
them.
what happened when I tried to pull you over there? Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Let me tell you what happened. It immediately went bling, and it kicked me out of that room, and so the join voice popped up, and but then it kept me the first time. It kept me in the room, but I couldn't do nothing. Like it was trying to do something. I couldn't unmute. I couldn't switch speakers or anything, and You almost did something right, man. I think you just try to get it. I won't touch nothing, man.
All right, try it again. Just I'm gonna do it right now. Okay. All right. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Brian, can you talk? Brian, are you muted? All right. Oh, let me try a different room. Maybe there's something wrong with this room. I don't understand why he can't talk though. Hello, Brian.
It looked like you just unmuted.
He's not muted. I don't know what the heck the problem is. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties on this first time trying this. Brian, are you there? I don't know why he can't talk. Let me try this other room. Brian, can you hear me? Brian. Master Cleek, can you hear me? All right, well, this sucks. And now Master Cleek jumped back to the other room. All right, can you guys hear me now? Hello? All right, can you guys hear me?
I hear him.
There you go, Brian.
Right. I think I know what I have to do. Sounds like you guys can hear each other, so go ahead. Hold on, let me say one thing. Hey, Angel Attack, Master Cleek, I said that you ran away. I thought you were jumping out of the voice chat, so I jumped the gun on that. Master Cleek was not running away. However, Angel of Attack can go fuck himself. All right, go ahead, guys.
Yeah, Brian.
All right, let's keep it above the belt, man. Let's keep it above the belt. I'll let you start. I'll let you start. You're the guest, the visitor. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian. What you got for me?
All right, this would be my argument, man. Okay, now if we take, Brandon just played a video yesterday. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but a guy zooms in. I just guessing from the optical. It looks like probably a P900 or a P1000, but he's got the moon zoomed in the moon's taking up almost the whole screen of his phone, so he's not zoomed all the way in, but you can barely see a balloon way up there toting something, like one of them satellite balloons or either a balloon carrying something is what it looks like. Okay, now then he zooms all the way in and you see it better, and it's right in front of the moon. So at this point he's only got about a quarter of the balloon of the moon in his camera, because he looks like he's fully zoomed in, and you can see the balloon a little bit better. Now, if it's one of them altitude balloons, which is what it appears like, and things are pretty massive, I'd say the bigger than ISS, but at least comparable. Now, if you take a P900 full zoom to the ISS when it gets close to overhead or doing a transit, you can make out a tiny little smudge of the ISS. It's pretty comparable to the size of that altitude balloon, and they're known to go up to about 110, 130,000 feet, which is, I don't think they get much higher than about 20 miles, somewhere around in there. And it's about the same size as a full zoomed ISS, which is said to be 250 miles. To me, that's a tough one to swallow, man. What do you think?
So are you saying that the balloon is the same size as the ISS?
It's probably a little bit bigger, but or
do you know
a
how big
smaller.
the ISS is?
I'm under the impression it's about the size of a 747. The balloon I would say is a little bigger, a little smaller.
It's the size of a football field, Brian.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, okay, it's the size of a football field. So you're trying to compare a balloon to that?
One of them high altitude balloons. Yeah.
Why would you try to compare a balloon to something the size of a football field?
Have you seen their balloons like Project Loon and all this stuff? Or you ain't seen any of them satellite balloons? You see how big them balloons are? They got
I didn't
cranes.
see it. I didn't see it, but I'm asking you. Hold on, I got
Yeah,
feedback.
man. I figured you might have seen it, man. It's going to be tough to make my point if you haven't seen it.
No,
But,
I haven't seen it, but
Brian,
are
your
you
mic is
familiar
echoing.
are you familiar with the video of are you familiar with the video of Ray's Rhetoric and Astronomy Live when they when they measured the altitude of the ISS?
yeah, I seen that.
What do you think of that?
Man, you know, it's pretty talented math and all that shit. If they really lined up with it that perfect and they did it and showed it, that's good. But they had to add in a radius. They get whole different calculations if they don't curve the ground. It's a very different calculation, not a measure.
So you don't think that they validated the altitude?
Well, they did, and then to get it to match, they had to curve the ground. In other words, they used the radius to in their calculation.
Okay,
So
if they did that,
I recommend you go back and watch it. And
if they
well,
did that, what's the problem?
well, it ain't a problem. It narrows it down. So you could say this. Well, here is an actual problem. Okay, if you don't know the actual distance of it, then you'll never know the actual speed. Or if you have the speed, then you could say for sure. But
So
if you have the distance, if you know them for sure, then you could get the calculation. But
they validated the speed too.
Right.
So
once again, though,
so this is my question.
Once again, they're using the Earth.
So Brian, this is my question to you. What's keeping the ISS up there?
I don't know, man. I just put a video out on my channel, man, for some old GPS, the old school satellites. It was from the Navy. It's a Navy documentary, and they were. You should go watch it. And they, in about 2 minutes in, it shows where they're talking about the orbits, and they say that that the Earth is pear-shaped. They show the Earth, and it's bigger at the bottom than it is at the top. Then I show where they have in the south, you know, they have all these anomalies. They have what they call a South Atlantic anomaly, which is pretty much the whole coast of South America, except for like a tiny bit of it from the equator all the way down to almost the tip of South America. So what they have to do is they have to link the satellites with other computers because there's constant glitches and shit. So they have to.
All right, Brian. The question,
a lot of anomalies. My point.
The question was, what's keeping the ISS up there? And you said I don't. You said I don't know. So my thing is this: you discredit. You basically discredit all the science. So how about you and a friend learn the math and do the math and validate
Hold on,
the
Master
altitude
Cleek.
of the
Brian,
ISS?
your mic is echoing.
Yeah. Hey, can you hear me?
You're echoing bad. Yeah.
I can't get back to mute. What's the name of the channel?
Debate room.
Debate room. Okay, if I can find it. Sorry, man. Hold on. Bear with me 1 second, man. Debate room. It kicked me back in the. Oh, okay, I see it. All right.
Okay.
No, I was about to get to. I was about to say, Khalik, that they talk about that the satellites ride the magnetic lines. And I'm thinking if they're orbiting, why do they have to ride the magnetic lines of the Earth if they're orbiting? Can you answer that?
No, I don't even understand the question. I really don't understand that. But the thing is they are orbiting. You can track the ISS for yourself, and it's not being refueled, like none of that. It's orbiting the Earth. You can track it for yourself. It's like it's not a mystery. It's not, it's not a conspiracy. The ISS is there. You can see it. It comes back around like every 90 minutes.
Well, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. If the ground is curving away, if the Earth is truly a globe, then you'd have a better case that it's orbiting. But if the ground is not curving, then it's just doing a circuit. You know, just doing a big ass circle.
So it's doing the circuit all across the world in 90 minutes. Like people can see this thing all around the world.
Well, for one, You know, I'm not claiming for certain that it's doing a circuit. I'm just saying we can't prove it. Me or you cannot. There's nothing we could do to
There is
justify.
something we can do, Brian. We can watch the thing go over our head, watch it come back in 90 minutes, and you can also check with somebody across the world in the UK or somewhere that they can see it too. How
Is it a
that possible
coincidence?
that
Is it a coincidence that it goes across the sky the same speed as an airplane? Is it a coincidence it takes like about 5 to 7 minutes to come in and out of sight? Is that a coincidence?
Once again, I don't understand that question. The question that I asked you was, how is it possible that somebody can see the ISS in the UK and then minutes later we can see it in the US? How is that possible if it's not orbiting?
Because it's up there. Something's up above us. You know,
Something
but
up-
we
yeah,
know it's
yeah.
not. We know it's not the size. The only thing we know for sure is that it's not the size they say. If it's going to the speed they say, it can't be the height. It
How,
can't be
how do you
how
know
they
that for
say.
sure,
That's the only
Brian?
thing we know for sure.
How you
And
know
we
that for sure, Brian?
We know that from angular resolution. Okay, it would be like 0.000. It's 1.5 to the negative fifth radians. It's micro. It's less than micro radians. It's in the micro. You would never see it. Period. And another
Brian,
thing, it doesn't.
Brian,
Why doesn't it? Why
you
doesn't
didn't
it
answer
gain?
you didn't answer my question, Brian. How is it possible that somebody can see this thing in the UK and we can see it minutes later in the US? How is that possible?
You know, you'd have to prove that too. You'd have to follow that bit. Okay. If it is, okay, look, if it's 250 miles up, then it's way bigger than they're telling us. So something ain't, one of their claims doesn't hold, man.
Okay, Brian.
How about this? Why
look,
doesn't it change in angular size when we see it
Brian.
as a little? We see it as a little dot on the horizon, and then it's about 1,000, 2,000 miles away, and then it gets right up close to overhead, and it's still just a little spot, you know, like just a little light.
Brian, look,
How come it doesn't change in angular size, man?
all right, Brian. Look, you're in the UK. I mean, you're in Florida, right? So look, this is what you can do. You can get on the ISSTransitFinder.com and you can see when it's coming overhead where you at. Then you can also put in the latitude to somebody in the UK and see when is it coming overhead for them, right? And you can count the time it's going to take between both of y'all seeing it. And
I'm okay with all that, man. I'm okay with all that. But listen, I got a problem with seeing something the size of a football field from even 50 miles away. You're not going to see something 50 miles away. We don't even see the balloons up there, the giant ass balloons that we know they launch. We don't even see them, and they're only at 20 miles, and they're bigger than the ISS. The Project Loon
is bigger than the
ones
football
that-
field.
Yes. Yeah, this is the size of a football field, around and length and width.
So you telling me it is possible for somebody to see it in the UK and then minutes later we see it in the US? That's possible? What can travel that fast, Brian?
Hey, can you repeat that, man? I'm sorry, I lost you for a second.
I said, are you saying that it's possible for somebody to see this thing in the UK and then us in the US see it just minutes later in the US?
I answer that, Brian. Then we're
You
going
say
back
that's
to the main
possible?
room. It's been 10 minutes. Go ahead, Brian.
All right, thank you, Brandon. And yeah, I mean that right there. If you could prove that, then you'd have something. If you could prove the same
I just told
thing,
you how to prove it, Brian. I just told you how to prove
yeah.
it.
The only way you could prove it is to see it continually. What they did is a live feed, and they showed us fake bullshit. So even if it is up there, they ain't showing us what's up. You know,
What's fake that they showed us? I haven't seen anything fake.
they showed the Earth, man. They showed the ground.
And that's
like
fake? You got proof that that's fake,
yeah,
Brian?
yeah, it is fake because
Can you prove that
they
it's
say
fake?
it's a 24-hour feed,
Can
and
you prove
they
that
show
it's
the
fake,
ground
Brian?
curving like.
All right. All right, guys.
Yeah,
Back.
no. How are you doing, man?
Hey,
What's up,
Brandon.
Brandon.
Yeah.
Can I answer him about how you one and one the other in another place?
You're cutting out a little bit, but I think you wanted to answer whose question? Master Kalik?
Yeah, he was asking like how you can see one in the United States and then a couple minutes on the how you say in England or whatever.
Yeah, go for it.
It's really simple. To me, you have several of those things flying up there.
Do you know something about the
Evidence,
English?
please. Evidence.
Okay, let me take over.
That will answer his question. Now, he needs to show that it's not a.
He
I
needs
guess
to show that
not
it's
the
not.
case.
To prove the negative? What?
No,
You
you're
have to
talking to
bring
me
people.
now. You're talking to
Please.
me now. It's
No,
all
he cannot
before-
prove the negative. You're right, Chike. You're right.
I will
You
take
need to
over.
bring
I
at
don't know.
least
I
two
just
of
got
them
back from the
together.
debate room, and I don't know if any of y'all heard that, but Master Cleese said that he could prove the same ISS that's going over England a few hours later is coming over our head in the USA. And I was like, if you could prove that, then you might be
Not
like
hours,
Johnny.
it's minutes.
I don't,
It's minutes,
It's minutes,
Brian.
Brian.
I fucking love it. They were asking, do you know what's happening in the Independence Day? Why there was independent away from? Nobody in America and so many childs. No, many people, they cannot answer these questions. They don't know what this fuck is about. They don't know what it's about.
Steve.
And they don't
You're so
know.
fun, Johnny.
They don't know Independence Day.
Fill her up, Johnny.
The
Fill her up.
4th of July. Yeah, but yeah, because what is the
What is he
Independence Day
talking
about?
I know. It's so much fun.
All right, Johnny.
Today's probably the bad day for Johnny to listen to Johnny, but it is fun to listen.
No, actually, it's a good day because he drunk more than the usual.
Well, that was enough for me for now. Anyway, Master Kalik and Brian are back. That was pretty good. Nice debate / conversation. You guys kept it pretty clean. I don't think Master Kalik came back, but whatever. I got asked a question in the chat about Saddaloons from Ben Delight. About could I prove the existence of Saddaloons? And I didn't know that was in question, but I guess when it came down to it, I'm trying to think how I could prove the existence of them.
Go to my channel.
Visually,
go to my channel. There's a bunch of different companies. There's plenty of different companies launching them balloons. I show them launching them. I show that's why I was talking about them pods. They got them pods, but they're not launching them. The buses and them pressurized pods, they got them, but they won't let them launch, man. They've been trying to get these fuckers to launch for years, but because they're hiding some bullshit, we're paying the price and not being able to go up there for cheap.
It's because maybe they worried about your life, Brian.
Yeah, you could detect them visually, or radar would be another good way.
Have you seen them on either of those, radar, or have you seen a Saddaloon through a telescope?
Not to my knowledge. I worked on radar for the 15s, and we never had anything pop up for that. Nothing erroneous.
That's crazy.
But that was a while ago, so to be fair,
Do you deny
something could change?
Do you deny there's balloons satellites hanging from balloons?
I don't deny that there may exist a balloon in which it is transmitting or receiving information. I don't deny that.
Yeah,
yeah.
How many balloons do you think they're up there at one time?
Oh man, I would say a maximum in the air at one time transmitting, receiving information. I'd say a maximum of 1,000 worldwide. Maximum.
No, they only need 12 of them. They got 12 of them at any given time in South America for the whole country to have internet and phone. I mean, not the whole country, but the continent to have LTE coverage. They said 12 balloons could cover the entire continent at about 120,000 feet.
Do they have them, or are they proposing that?
They've been at them.
Y'all take a look. I remember
company is that?
LTE. It's going to be hard for you to find it, man. It's going to be hard for you to find it, but it's there, man.
They said. Why they said if they can cover it, they should cover it, and that's it.
Yeah, Chikey thinks everybody's lying now for some reason.
I'm not saying all they have up there is 12, but I'm saying that's what That's what they needed to cover the South America. I'm
That's
not
what
saying they
they
don't have
need,
more
but
than
they're
that
not
up there.
covering, right?
Whoa.
They're not covering. At this moment, they don't cover anything.
Why would they need one?
Look,
Why would you
yeah,
need
I'm
one?
just addressing what's being said. He
Well,
said,
if you
they said,
have thousands of
that's
satellites
what
in
they need.
orbit and in stationary, geocentric, whatever, why would you need any satellite on a balloon?
Well, because there's less shit in the way. Like for example, the ionosphere or some shit. The signals coming from your phone, as far as transmitting, aren't going to be able to penetrate that. So when you have something, a source that's in our atmosphere that at considerably lower altitude, the signal from our phone doesn't have to penetrate shit.
Any other reasons? I mean, that was a good reason. I like that.
Maybe cost effective for the company. They want to create a business in an area like that, but they can't construct towers and they can't put satellites up. So maybe they just said, "Fuck it, balloons might work."
Google can't put satellites up?
Yeah. Whatever this company, this particular company, maybe they can't.
They labeled the balloons as satellites, just so you know. That's by definition. They labeled them, and that's when I think it was
I mean,
Roosevelt?
you don't think they were actually as cavalier as to just say, "Yeah, balloons might work," and then they started putting balloons up.
Well, before that, we was having this debate. You know, they talked about the first satellite we had was the Epic balloon. It was a big ass silver balloon. You know, I've never seen a picture, but they said they launched it in a rocket and then inflated it. In
using
orbit.
the gas, in upper
But
atmosphere.
That's blue, right? Blue.
And then reflected frequencies off of it. That was in like the 60s.
No, it wasn't upper atmosphere.
Imagine what they have now, right?
I know, but if
and the
we
president said
speculate,
that shit was crooked. The president at the time, they were signing the bills. I don't know if it was Kennedy or one of them. They said that he didn't want, he hardly wanted a part of it. It was crooked as a box of snakes.
Ricky, if we speculate, then it's just going to be speculation. The whole statement of they had something at this time. Imagine what they have now. Okay, well, if we're going to imagine, then it could be anything. We can imagine anything.
No, they're telling us what they have in so many ways. We've been told in the future and in the past how they're ahead of us in technology, what they release, how they release it, how far ahead usually in technology, certain government agencies are and certain companies are. So we're going by that. We're not, like just flying blind here.
A bit. I understand your point, and I don't disagree. Every time we see some type of new technology, we can find documentation where they had it, 10, 15 years ago, perhaps. So we as the public are behind on what they're capable of. I don't dispute that. But what I'm saying is that doesn't mean that we can accurately speculate as to what they do have. We can't.
Oh, look, man, they got Loran. They got this thing called Loran a long time ago, and it's working better and better. And they got the shit down to a science, working halfway across the ocean and shit. And they also got these balloons, these satellites on balloons, way cheaper than launching satellites on rockets. Both of them, the Loran and Satelloons. So you think they just said, "Fuck the money, let's launch shit on rockets and spend all these billions of dollars and go backwards in technology"? You think that's what they did?
So where are the balloons on the ISS?
Huh?
Where's the actual balloon on the ISS?
It's just bringing up the ISS again. You sound drunk, man.
Well, because it's proof. How are you going to deny it? You guys just deny everything.
Deny what?
I'm not claiming the ISS is on. I would be shocked though if they, if Picard went up in the early 1900s or mid 1900s, whatever, or early 1900s in a capsule. I'd be shocked if they don't have big systems of this shit up there now. It's cheap. I mean, we could go up there for a couple $1,000s, man. And this was back in the early 1900s. I'd be shocked if they didn't have all kinds of shit up there.
Yeah, they do. We can see it. The ISS specifically, we can see silhouettes in front of the moon or the sun. Pick your poison for that. And then the shimmering from moving satellites, from stationary satellites, and then you can make these predictions using what they claim on websites of if you're at this particular location at this particular time, looking in this particular direction, you will see a thing, and you always see that thing.
No, you lose these balloons at about 50,000 feet, man. They ain't even a speck anymore.
Can you verify that there's people on that silhouette that you see?
I don't know how many goalposts we should move back. We could verify the height first, right?
Yeah, you can calculate it, but how do you verify that there's people up there in that little silhouette you see?
Oh, I accept the live streams. That's fine. That's fine for me.
You just accept it. Understood. Thank you, Badu.
Right. It's still evidence. You might not find it to be compelling evidence. That's fine. That's your personal requirement. But that is fine for me.
I do want to point something out though. If you tell somebody that your car can go 300 miles per hour, and then they say, "Well, prove it to me," and so you open the door and you let them peek inside, and the speedometer goes all the way up to 300. Them saying, "Well, get in and drive it at 300," isn't them moving the goalpost. That's still asking for actual verification, not your bull crap.
Right. But he's saying, what's your verification or evidence for people being on it?
In the sky,
I'm going to address what you said.
Anything is in space that shows that something is up in the sky. And saying, "Can you verify there's human beings on it?" isn't moving the goalpost. That's wanting actual verification, not your bull crap.
And I provided verification. I provided verification.
Look, if you're asking where it is and then asking are there humans there, that's moving the goalpost.
I mean, whatever verification you want, it'll be provided.
The claim is that it's out in space with
It doesn't
people
matter
on it,
whether you accept it
and
or
all
not.
you've
It'll
shown
still
is
be
there's an
provided.
object in the sky. That's two different things. You didn't show the verification yet.
Right. The
Showing
verification
something
is
in the
the
sky is
verification
not
for the
showing
height.
something's in space with humans in it.
I know. The verification for the height would be the trigonometry I proposed with that method. The method is sound. You may not like the conclusion, but that doesn't falsify the method. And as far as people being on
The
it,
problem I have with it,
I'm not
stream,
addressing any of that. All I'm saying
a
is that
live
your
stream of
comment
people-
of moving the goalpost is null and void and retarded. It's
No, it's
not
not.
moving the goalpost. You still haven't shown verification.
The problem I have with
just
that
brought up
SS is that
the
the
live
That's
stream.
not verification. You haven't
It
shown
is
it yet.
verification. You
It's
just
not
don't like
moving
it.
the goalpost.
You just don't like the
Just so
conclusion
we're all
and the evidence
clear,
that
other
it
than
provides.
apparently BioDuel,
Just so
there
we're
has
all
been no
clear,
goalpost
you
moving
don't
by
let me
requesting
talk
if
because
there's
you don't like what I
verification there's
say.
humans on that thing. That's not
Just-
moving the goalpost
just
at
so
all. Not
everyone's
even a
aware,
little bit.
Bob
Not even
can't
a
stop
tiny
talking because
little
he doesn't
bit
like
is that
what I have
moving the
to say.
goalpost. None whatsoever.
Yeah, just because you don't like what I say doesn't mean I'm not going to say it, Bob. The verification
Yeah,
that
you can
I
go ahead
provided,
and say
here we
it.
go.
You're just
Do it again.
wrong. That's not moving the goalpost
Yeah,
at all.
again, I said you can say
Hey,
that
thanks
it's
to
not.
my
I
developers
said
for
that you can
stealing
say
in
it.
here, but they ain't
I am
100%
saying
we go.
it. So I'm saying it. So you agree I can say it.
How about-
Shout out to James Mays, $20. What's up, Brandon? Hello to the panel. Thank you, James. Appreciate that, man. Really do. And Kango24, New Zealand, $5. Let's crowdfund for Brandon to go on a flight like this. Go to Incredible Adventures website. Incredible Adventures website, huh? All right, I'll plug this for you, whatever it is. Incredible Adventures. Okay. Incredible Adventures. I don't know. Guess you'll have to give me more information. Fly fighter jets. Oh, hell yeah. Go for it. Crowdfund. I've always wanted to fly in a fighter jet. I don't know what you think it would prove, but I do remember you, Kango, and you think that you can see the Earth curvature from a jet at that altitude, which is silly, to be honest. But that's cool. Thanks for the $5, man.
On it.
Absolutely, you could not verify that at all.
And there's the logic, everybody. Welcome.
Oh, I guess BioDuel's never heard of a drone. He doesn't think that we have the capabilities of having something in the air
Sorry, I said
without a human
airplane.
being
Did I
inside.
say
of it.
drone? Did I say drone? I said airplane. That's
It is an airplane.
my mistake.
It's an unmanned airplane, also commonly referred to as a drone. It's real. It's a thing that exists.
If anybody else wants to be honest, when
But it's
someone
still
says
an
airplane, do you think drone? Does anybody
Still an
else think
airplane.
a drone?
Still an airplane.
I'm sorry.
Just because
I'll
we
be,
have a
I'll be
different term
pedantic
for it
next
doesn't
time.
mean it's a different thing.
I give
Still
you
an
more
airplane.
respect. I gave you more respect for assuming that you would
Still an airplane.
what I was saying when I said airplane.
I don't get why you don't see his point.
I understand his point exactly. He
Then why don't
He
you
wants
just
more
deny
to deny
he
it because
requires
he doesn't
more-
like the way it goes.
He requires more verification that is reasonable.
I require verification to begin with. You didn't give any. You pointed to an object in the sky and said, "See, that's proof of space." It's not. That's proof of something
Did I
in
say
the
that?
sky.
Or did I say the height of the object we can do trigonometry with no influence from other sources? We could do it ourselves to know the height. Then
that's
what we could
incorrect.
do,
You
then
cannot
what we
use
could do is say
trigonometry to
that's a real.
triangulate a moving object. It's not possible.
Okay.
You cannot
Oh,
show
I'm
it.
so glad you brought this back up. So happy.
Yes,
So,
please,
the
please
way that
demonstrate
GPS
it.
works, GPS is that with the
No,
saddle
don't
dunes?
tell me how GPS works. Please
No, I'm not telling
demonstrate
you. I'm asking you.
triangulating a moving object while it's moving.
I've
Please
already
do that.
explained many times, but I'm asking you about GPS. Is that with balloons?
I'm not talking about GPS.
No,
We're
but I
talking
am
about
because I'm making
triangulating a
an
moving
analogy.
object.
I'm making an analogy.
Oh, okay. Well, make your analogy then.
Right. So GPS, is that balloons? Here we go. I'm going to assume
Sounds like you're
that
asking
you
a
think they
question,
are
not
balloons.
making an analogy. Go ahead and make your analogy,
I'm
please.
gonna make the assumption that you think
Okay.
they are.
How many
saddle
questions are
dunes.
going to be in your analogy?
No. This is it's going to be very quick because he's not going to answer the question. To be honest. So
Well,
I'm going to
usually
assume.
you don't
I'm going to
ask
assume. I'm going to
questions when you're
assume. I'm going to
making an
assume.
analogy.
I'm going to assume that he thinks that it's saddle dunes. So what I'll
Yeah,
say
you're good
is
at that.
those saddle dunes must be moving, right? But they triangulate our coordinates here on the ground. So how can a moving object triangulate? Well, fucking GPS. When you're moving in your car using GPS, how do they triangulate it? You're moving. God damn, Bob.
Is that it?
Things before you fucking say it.
Is that it? Was that your analogy?
That's the analogy. Sure.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Saddle dunes don't triangulate our position. That's easy.
There you go. And then your car using GPS, how does it triangulate your exact position while you're moving?
Not using triangulation.
How does it?
So what the fuck is GPS then? What
How
is
does
it?
it
Good
find?
question.
No,
That's a very good question.
Oh,
Can you-
Bob,
do you-
you're
let
in
me ask
such
you
a
this, let me
hole
ask
and
you
you're
this.
doubling
Do
and
you
tripling
have a
down.
scientific source saying that triangulation is absolutely possible on a moving object? Do you have a source for that?
Aya, you're
I got
strawmanning.
you.
I would like,
Strawmanning,
Stephen,
Aya.
I would like to read
Oh, no,
through that.
Oh, he's strawmanning me? I strawman
No,
him for
you're
sure.
strawmanning because we don't know. You triangulate with GPS. Maybe he has another method. Let's hear him.
No, that's fine.
You have no
I strawman the shit out
verification
of
that
him.
GPS
I'm waiting
uses
for him to
triangulation
clarify.
whatsoever.
I'm waiting
whether
for him to
it's saddle
clarify,
dunes or
but I'll
otherwise.
strawman the shit out of him if he's not going to answer questions, of course.
You
No,
want him to clarify your
I'm
straw
not
man?
worried about the straw man. You seem to have missed the larger point by you. We have no way to verify that GPS uses triangulation in any way, shape, or form.
No,
Yes,
no,
we do.
no, I
You can build a
what
receiver.
people
You
do
can build a
then.
receiver and know the information that it's receiving.
Yeah,
And then you
okay,
can,
and then you can receive the information that it is programmed to give you. Fantastic. Still haven't verified that it uses triangulation.
Yeah, that
In the
information that you
software.
get is triangulation. That is
Great.
parts
Do you
of the
think
triangulation.
that the information given to you by another source is automatically exactly what they say it is? Fantastic. Now, do you want to do real verification or just go ahead and accept what you're told?
If
No,
the
it's not-
verification we use GPS.
Because that's not
on
verification.
navigation.
Receiving
What do you mean?
information and then
What do
believing the
you mean?
information you received, that's not
Did
verification.
you
That's
use
called
GPS on
stupidity,
navigation?
ignorance, retardation.
Oh,
Did
you're
you
such a
use
flat earth
GPS?
liability today. I love it.
Yeah. Rakia, are you there?
Yes.
So, what is the answer?
I'm not worried.
Said about 15 minutes, Chucky.
Chikey, I got a challenge for you, man. I got
Still
a
waiting
challenge
on
for you.
that, that source, by the way, that indicates the triangulation of a moving object.
Oh,
is
don't worry,
possible
Bob.
using
Don't worry, Bob.
trigonometry.
It sounds like you're confident that no one in the world understands that you can triangulate a moving object. But I got you,
Yeah,
Bob. You're the
I'm
only
Hold
one.
on a
confident that it's
second.
not possible.
Let me challenge Chikey real quick to a math challenge. Chikey, real quick. Chikey, if we have a polygon with 7,000. Hold on, with 7,000 and no, I'm sorry. If we have a polygon with 9,960 sides, okay. Judging by the fact that if we have a line across the Earth, okay, if the radius of Earth, we're going to call it, for simplicity's sake, 4,000. I mean, we're going to call the diameter 8,000 miles, and we're going to call the radius 4,000 miles. Okay. Now, judging by the diameter, if you drew a line and split the circle in half, from the center of it to the top of the ball is going to be 4,000. That's basically going to be the radius. Okay. So then we cut it into 4, and we take it down a little bit more than that. So what is going to be? I mean, I want to call it the sagitta, or the sagitta, but I want to say the line, the arc. Okay. What's this going to be the size of an arc on a ball with 9,960 sides? I need to know the arc for each side. They're going to be equidistant. Like a disco ball, basically.
33.
No, he's pretty good at math. I want to see if he can figure out the the height of the
Shut
arc.
up. Serious, shut up. Chike, don't answer it.
Why?
Here you go, Bob. Is a
He ain't gotta
definition
answer
of
it now. He ain't gotta
triangulation
answer it right
used
now
in
anyway.
navigation, surveying, civil engineering, precise
I
determination
didn't
of
ask for
ships or aircraft's
definition.
position.
I didn't ask for definition. I
That's
asked
fine.
for a source on doing it on a moving object.
Yep, I guess this ship
Is it
and
in there?
aircraft position doesn't.
Is that am I
include
going to
moving
find that
objects.
in there, BioDual? Them
Yeah,
specifically saying that it can be done on a moving object. Am I going to find that when I click on this link?
I'm gonna
Because
read
if
it for
I'm
you.
not, you haven't
Triangulation.
provided the thing requested.
Triangulation in navigation, surveying.
Tango 24, New Zealand, $5. Brando, that website you book a flight in a MiG-29 to the edge of space so you can see the curve. As a truth seeker, I would thought you'd like to. I just said I'd love to go for a flight in a jet. The idea that you can see the curve at that high, I don't know what the edge of space is to you. You're talking about the Kármán line. What's that? 60 miles? Don't think a MiG goes up to 60 miles. And I don't think that the MiG can go high enough for you, even on your model, to see the curve. So either way, whatever shape the Earth is, that would be a pointless flight. But I'm happy to go on it for sure.
That's what I'm going to find there?
When do we bring up tracking? I didn't bring up tracking.
Okay, well, maybe I used a word that you didn't want me to use. That's fine. I will find in there that you can triangulate a moving object. That's what I'll find.
Such as a ship or aircraft's location.
Okay, so just to be clear, that's your claim that if I click on this link, that's the information I'll find in there somewhere. It'll say that you can triangulate a moving object. Okay.
Hold on. I didn't understand how pedantic you wanted. Do you want the word or the words moving object? Is that what you require? Because when
if you don't know it's moving, how do you know that they're tracking a moving thing?
When it talks about finding the precise location of a ship or an aircraft, do you think in any universe, by specifying those two things, that they're specifying when they're on the ground motionless?
Aircraft, yeah, it can be an helicopter. It might not be moving. A ship, the same thing.
So when this thing is talking about triangulating the precise position of something, and they specify such as boat or ship, or I'm sorry, such as ship or plane,
or stationary.
Hold on, I'm going to get to the question because I want to see how honest you are. When it specifies,
moving or stationary.
Hold on, I want to see how honest you are. I'm going to get to the end of my question.
Yeah,
When it specifies a ship or plane, their precise location, do you think, and be honest, that it's specifying those two things while they're not moving?
I don't know. That's the whole thing.
And there
I don't know.
There's the litmus honesty test.
I would guess that it would.
Why am I
supposed to be moving.
Let me ask him.
That's what
why
I would
am I dishonest, bro? Why am I dishonest?
Oh, wait, are you not
it's
talking
not
to me?
specifying. He was asking me. Sorry.
Oh, I thought he was asking me.
Why didn't they say trees? If it's talking about a motionless object, why didn't they say trees, houses, something
Okay.
like that?
I don't know.
Wait a minute. They also list roads, tunnels, or other structures under construction.
Right,
so they
exactly.
did list those things.
Right,
things
exactly.
That are
In a
stationary.
separate part of that,
all
right?
of them in there.
Yeah,
So now I would
a
guess,
separate part of that.
from the context, that this particular paragraph is talking about things that would be in motion. That's what I think that they would be talking about.
Perfect.
For sure.
And they did.
In that link, does
Okay.
it say you must
But this
assume
is
a flat,
description of what
non-rotating
the
Earth
thing is
to do
supposed
this
to be about.
calculation?
I still haven't clicked the
I'm
link.
not sure. I didn't
So
read the
what I'm
whole
asking
thing.
you is, when I get to the link, the actual information, is it going to tell me that you can use triangulation to find the position of a moving object? That's what I want to know.
I understand the parameters.
Let me answer
I
Bio.
understand the
Let me
parameters
answer
now.
him.
Sure.
Let me
Okay.
answer him.
So I'll click on the link and I'll go there.
On your answer, and your previous answer, if they mention a boat or a fucking ship, then there you go. It's moving. Based on your own answer.
When you specify a particular situation, and then you give particular examples, those examples will coincide with something. They're going to have similar traits. When we talk about boats and planes, we're not imagining them being motionless in this context. That they're moving. If we can find a precise location and precise position of these two things, of course they are moving.
when you it doesn't matter if it's moving or not, though, as long as you can pinpoint a
doesn't.
point in time. You're just saying where something
Okay,
is
so
at a single.
You're
Hold on,
right,
let me
Brandon.
finish. Let me finish. At a single point in time, right? So you need to know. You need to be able to identify that single point in time. So I'm not sure I understand why it matters if it's moving or not. If you can identify
Well,
a position at a point in time.
I can explain why it
Brandon,
matters.
if it's moving, I would think that the only way you can do it is if the both persons take the picture at the exact same time, because otherwise that object has moved from one position to another, so they're having different measurements.
Actually,
So-
it's worse than that. The error is so great, you can take them at different times and come up with the same answer. That's how much the error is going to be when you're doing it, especially over distance.
Here's the
So
thing.
taking it to the top of the water tower is one thing, but to an object at great distance and at altitude or in the atmosphere, totally different.
Here's why it
I think it's
matters.
great, though.
This is the same thing they do with things out in space and stuff like that. Triangulation is a calculation. You can triangulate a point. You cannot triangulate a moving object. If you choose to triangulate a spot where you think the object was at a time, you can do the calculation for where you think it was at a time. But here's the problem. The only way to verify that your triangulation was correct is to go there and verify that the thing is there. You can't do that with moving objects.
No, that's
All
not
you
true.
can do is triangulate a point in the past where you think it was. That's the problem.
You know that's not true, because what
That
you're
is
saying is that
absolutely true.
mathematic.
And I'll add that the
I
link
know,
you
go ahead.
gave me didn't say a single thing about triangulating a moving object.
Yeah, beautiful.
I knew that's where he was going, and I agree with both y'all. Actually, I mean, but you have to admit it's unverifiable, and
it's not
when
unverifiable.
doesn't mean the
Yes, it is.
calculation's
It's
going to be that
100%
far off.
unverifiable.
You're going to have to disprove
Do you know
mathematics
what it
to
means?
say that it's
No,
not.
you don't have to
Bill.
disprove mathematics at all.
Hey, BioDual.
Yes, sir.
All right. Ask them specifically how they account for GPS approaches for instrument landings on aircraft. By
Well,
definition,
I
those
did
are
ask
moving.
about GPS. I did ask
No,
about
GPS
but-
approaches. That's
Oh,
a
I don't
moving
have
object
information for that.
landing.
Radar.
That's a aircraft landing via GPS input,
Radar.
and that's real time.
And
Yes.
By radar, Bob.
and
Doesn't
was
track.
there a point to that, Dr.
Totally
Bob, or
different.
was you just telling us some information, some trivia about how planes land sometimes?
Bob, the example that I gave is that you're in your car using GPS on your phone. That should
Yeah,
have
but
been
I mean-
enough.
No, I understand
Yeah,
the
but they could
example.
make
You're
the
claiming
argument-
that's triangulation.
They could
I'm
make
saying
the
no, it's not.
argument.
I
they
don't
could make
accept
the
that
argument-
triangulation.
Quit talking.
Unless
They
you're
could
going to
make
say
the
there's
argument
triangulation
that
of a
the
spot
car-
that you were, and
Stop
then it updates the screen
talking.
says you were there.
Oh, who do
I
you
would
think
accept
you
that.
are, man? We've been in here for an hour. You
But the
just
only
come in
way
here
you
and
can
tell everybody
verify
to
is by
talk.
you saying, "Oh
Hey,
yeah,
Bob.
I was there."
Yeah, Bob is still interrupting you, Rakia. So there is a point where Bob is interrupting fucking everyone.
Yeah, Bob needs to just fuck off.
Yeah,
Fuck
Joel.
off yourself. As the plane lands on a GPS approach, it's moving and
Hey,
it's
Bob.
using GPS.
Hey,
It's not
Bob,
staying
your
still.
turn.
Okay,
Yeah,
There you
and
go. And it's triangulating with GPS as it lands.
that's
Period.
certainly a story
And-
you can tell about GPS.
No, that's
Absolutely,
no.
you can
that's-
certainly
no,
tell that story.
That's the way it works. Sorry. You
That's
can't
absolutely
disagree
a
with
story
that.
you can
radar?
tell for sure.
Isn't that radar?
100%, that's a story you can tell, Dr. Bob.
Guys, isn't that radar, not GPS?
The
Oh,
radar would be
what?
from the tower. The radar is from the tower.
Yeah.
The plane itself,
Yeah.
the commercial air flight, they're not going to have that. They'll be using GPS.
Okay, so that's fine. I mean, who cares if they use GPS? They've set up a reference system. They've got a system which GPS uses trilateration. By the way, somebody reminded us in the chat, not triangulation, to tell them where they are on that reference system. What does any of this prove? I don't understand why.
So the original discussion was my methodology of measuring and calculating the height of the ISS. I brought up the triangulation of it, and then it's seemingly the problem is that it's a moving object, despite being able to, for example, take a picture of a moving object, and you can make measurements from that. That seems to be the problem, is that you can't triangulate for a moving object.
Don't you have to know how fast it's going or how big it is to do
Not necessarily, because
triangulation?
For the triangulation, as I said, all you would need is 2 observers, a known distance between them, and then each one at the same time making an angular measurement. And you can do that in a number of ways. You can take a picture at the same time with known references for angles, blah, 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 all that stuff.
And how do you get the
but that's
distance?
all that's required. So the speed of the object doesn't change this measurement. The
So how do you
size of
get
the
the
object,
distance in the first place, Mayo?
the size of the object makes no difference to the calculation as well. Just known distance between
Mayo.
observers and the angular measurements to that object.
But you also
Yeah,
have to
and how do you
assume
get the
that you're
distance?
on. You have to assume that you're on one or the other models, right?
Well, what you can do is assume both. So we can assume a flat plane, and we can also assume a sphere with the parameters that are claimed. We can assume both. And what you'll find is that when you assume the flat Earth, it's going to be a greater distance. And when you assume the spherical Earth, your distance calculation is actually going to come down from that. So as far as the final numbers are concerned, the best argument for flat Earth is assuming the globe, because it would be a smaller distance.
Do you have a video or some resource that describes this method that you're
Yeah, I posted it in chat earlier. Let me I'll post a screenshot and I'll actually post a link. There's a number of people that discuss it, and then someone mocks up some numbers to use, and he explains it quite well.
I did the calculation for determining the height of the ISS from using what is effectively triangulation, along with using measurements made by about 2 years ago by 2 guys who were on the Fed channel, and I did the calculation. I got within 500 meters of the height of the thing using some moderately complicated maths, because you have to allow for the curvature of the Earth. By the way, it's trilateration that is used in GPS, not triangulation, as Brandon, I think, said a moment ago.
Right, I think he corrected that. But yeah, so that's the methodology. I find that the methodology is sound. We can opinionate on what the results mean, but the methodology is sound. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, Astronomy Live and Red's Rhetoric also did the same thing. A year later, they also did the calculation, an observation. They did the observation calculation.
Rumpus,
Great.
of course they're gonna say the same thing. What do you expect?
How's your test going?
Has anybody looked into this in detail? What this
You are all cheap.
particular
You think
by
alike.
Metabunk?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
based on reality. We all agree because we all agree on physics and geometry.
Yeah,
So
no
that's why we
yeah, you
agree.
do.
No doubt.
So if you like math,
And then
maths, physics, and
who cares?
geometry, we all agree
Whoever
that
comes
works.
and repeats
how's
what
That's why
Google
we
says
agree.
is the
We've
same
got
shit,
something to
right?
agree on in the real world.
Yeah, whatever. Well, there's a
It's about
disagreement
exactly
here.
triangulate- it's about exactly
You don't like maths,
triangulate
do
an
you?
airplane.
You don't like maths and physics. We all come up with the same
If you
answer
think you
on
can
our side of the
triangulate-
argument because we believe
Hold
in
on.
maths and physics.
If you think you could triangulate an airplane, like get the exact overhead zenith of an airplane, it's hard enough with the sun, but you could use a shadow. But yeah, you could do it, but it's a little bit of guesswork, man. It's approximating, get
No,
what
it's
you
not.
want, man.
No, it's not.
Don't need
You only
to
need
How
to
do you
measure
prove?
it.
How can you
You just-
prove that you're getting an exact zenith?
Yeah, because I would like
you
to
don't
know
need
what.
a zenith. What?
What
So,
does-
I mean, there's a question. The people here are saying, "Well, how do you prove it?" Well, GPS works. We know the people who design GPS and the receivers show the correct answer. We know it works.
Yeah, it does work. I use it all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, but
And
how
it uses
can you?
trilateration.
What distance did you do the ISS? What distance? What 2 distances did you use? Did you use anything like a decent distance apart? Like, or
Yeah,
did you use
we
like
did.
5 miles like they did?
No, there was there was a guy called I can't remember his name now. It's about 2 years ago. The difference between the 2 observers was about 200 miles, I think, or 300 miles, in fact, actually. Yeah, something like 300 miles.
In my
It's quite a
opinion,
long- Go ahead.
I trusted a lot, Rumpus. I trusted a lot more if you'd use like the edge of one city and the edge of another. So just keep it all within one line of distance. You know, just for.
Yeah, it is
for,
all on one line. That's the key thing. To make the geometry easy, you've got to pick your time. You've got to make the all has happened in a plane. So you want the observer, the ISS, the other observer, and the center of the Earth all to form one plane, and that simplifies the geometry to the point where you can do it, moderately easily.
There's
And
2 things I've never seen, man. I've never seen, and I don't doubt your ability to do that, but I think it's going to be harder than you think. And I mean, you've already done it. So,
I've done it.
I think that I've never seen the ISS dead overhead of anybody.
You don't need to.
I mean,
let's try it
maybe
again.
somebody
Let's
might
try
have
it
it.
again.
I've
You
never
do
seen
not
it.
need to have the ISS directly
Okay.
overhead. What you want is the ISS to be between you, form a straight line between one observer, then the ISS, and then another observer. And you want that to be a straight line.
Second
If
thing
you
I've
can
never
do that,
seen.
then the geometry is relatively easy. No, not
Yeah.
moderately
It would
easy.
be, and the further away it'd be less margin of error. But look, the second thing I've never seen, and I think we should see it. We should have seen it on every rocket launch. At some point, the capsule, the rocket's got the resupply rocket has to slow down and slowly approach the ISS. So at some point on Earth, if not every point, being that that you could see the ISS because it keeps going around so many times. We should see that the resupply rocket docking with the ISS.
We have the picture. Astronomy Live or Red Letter, I can't remember who, has actually got a picture of the a docked space shuttle or sorry, one of the Soviet things, the Soyuz. They've actually got a picture of that. Astronomy Live has got it at a reasonable scale. You can identify the shape of it.
I'd be tickled pink if you could post that, man.
Okay, so Astronomy. I think it's Astronomy Live. I think has got it. Okay, it'll involve a moderate amount of research.
I posted
Okay,
the picture.
I'll see if I can dig it out. I won't do it now, but I'll try and send it to you some stage in the
I
next.
posted a high-resolution picture of the ISS with the shuttle docked.
Just real quick.
In my debate, they were talking about the height of the ISS, and I was saying you couldn't prove it, But my problem is the rockets that are said to be taking the stuff up there, and the rockets going up there, they're only going about 8 or 9 miles. I'll give them 12 miles. Fuck it, I'm feeling generous today. They're going completely sideways after about 8 or 12 miles height, man. How are they getting way the fuck up? 250 miles going
Sorry, I don't
sideways.
understand what you're saying, Brian. You're going to have to make that a bit.
They do their
clearer.
roll. They do their roll pretty low down to the ground, man. At what point do you see them going sideways and gaining in altitude? I'd have to see that, man.
Are you talking about the way the shuttle gets into orbit and it goes at an angle?
Yeah. If you watch a time lapse launch, man, they do some hellified arcs.
James Mays seems to be confused about lines in the Euclidean, that only on the surface of the Earth when we're talking about paths do they, or in space-time, are lines curved. But anyway, I don't understand. Yeah, when a space shuttle goes up, it has to go into orbit, so it can't just keep on going straight up because it's got to acquire this 17,000 miles an hour that it's got to have to stay in orbit. That has to be at a tangent to the Earth. So it's not going up 17,000 miles an hour you need. What you want is 17,000 miles an hour at a tangent. So it has to turn until eventually it forms, a tangent to the surface of the Earth. And then once it's got to that position at 17,000 miles an hour, it can switch off. The engines are not required anymore. And providing it's not hitting any atmospheric resistance, which it will actually is a bit at the height it goes at, it effectively can carry on doing that forever. Just like the ISS. Though ISS has to be boosted every 3 or 4 months or something. You have to boost it up because it gradually descends, and they have to boost it up again.
Horrible, though.
So I don't know. Your point is, Brian.
All these maths for the orbits are based on the radius, right?
Yep, the radius, the known radius that we observe, and you can
Black
measure yourself.
Swan, buddy. Black Swan.
Yeah, that's refraction. You avoid.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go down 1 foot from the sea or 5 feet from the sea,
How do you figure out
you're going to get
refraction
problems
in
with
first place?
refraction. But Dr. Bob, who's in here, has also
How
done
do
a measurement.
How do you get the
Hold on.
refraction in the first
Dr.
place,
Bob
dummy?
has done a measurement along with Blue of the radius of the Earth, and I'm about to do so with my. I'm about to do
the
the same
radius
with my
directly
sticks.
with
How
drop
do
too.
you measure the radius?
Well, Dr. Bob has done it.
I've measured it directly. I've got a whole video on it.
Yeah.
I have a whole video on it.
How?
I have a whole video on it.
Okay,
Measuring the
can
radius
you resume
directly.
it real quick? How you did it?
Yeah, go look at it.
It's already
Brian,
been debunked.
Use the Aristophanes.
Brian, at 10:14 p.m. on Monday, July 12th, if you look 10 degrees above the southwest horizon, you will see the ISS rise. It will be up for 7 minutes. It will disappear over your head and out over to the northwest.
What's the date? What's the date and the time again?
July 12th. July 12th.
This is for Florida, is it? You're breaking up, Bob. You're breaking up, Bob. We didn't get your date.
I heard July 12th at 10:14, I think.
Right. Hopefully that's for Florida. So that's hopefully he's giving you something for over Florida rather than elsewhere.
Yeah, he gave me enough. He gave me enough to look into it. I could never capture it. But
well, if you,
I'm gonna try.
You do know there's a website that you can ask it to give it your position. It'll tell you.
Oh, I see it. I just can never get it, dude. It's never fucking in my camera ever. I mean, I've seen other people do it, but I guess I don't have the talent.
I've seen it numerous times go over me. Well, numerous.
I've seen it. I just can't zoom in on it. I can't see it through my camera.
Oh yeah,
bro.
that's tricky. Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Zooming in on it is very, very tricky. Absolutely.
Where Brian lives. Okay, well then. Okay.
You're breaking up again, Bob. We can't hear you.
Not on 14 p.m.
Yeah, you're broken up, Bob. I'm afraid.
Hey, science guy, get a better internet.
Yeah. So anyway, he's given you the information. So yeah, zooming in on it is really tricky. This is what Astronomy Live had to write some special software on a mount on his telescope that can track, and he wrote some software to do the tracking, so that because you can't do it by hand very easily at all. It's very, very.
It refracts, dude. It fucking refracts. Believe it or not.
Well, the refraction issues are very small. I mean, for instance, if you capture it directly overhead or close to being overhead, then the refraction's nothing. No, the problem is the fact that it's moving. It moves its own length every second? No, it must be. It moves its own length. So if you framed it such that you've got it in your frame, I think it's only in that frame for half a second or something, or quarter of a second. I can't remember now what it is. So tracking it with zoomed into it, so where it's filling the frame, is next to impossible to do manually. You have to use a mount on an astronomical mount that you can program the change in attitude, azimuth, and etc. etc. Which you can do. Astronomy Live has done it, and I've considered doing the same thing. But it's bloody tricky. So I'm not surprised you can't do it easily.
You can see it with your naked eye. I mean, it'll be you when you watch it go overhead. You'll be able to clearly see it.
That's such a retarded statement.
He wants to zoom in on it, Bob. He's seen it. So he has seen it, but he wants to zoom in on it and take a picture of it.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, it's very tricky.
What time is it?
You cannot see objects at that distance. The size of a football.
We've got videos of it.
Yeah, then that means it's not at that distance. That's such a retard.
No.
You guys,
no, that doesn't mean it's not at that distance. It means that you can see it. You can see it with a telescope. Not a problem. You can see details on it.
No. You say with the naked eye. You can
see the ISS with the naked eye go overhead. Yes.
Yeah. Then that means
details,
then
stop talking.
The consequence.
No. Stop talking over me.
The consequences
over me.
Of you seeing it with your naked eye. The consequences of you see it with your naked eye means that is not at that fucking distance, you moron.
You can talk over me all you want. It's not going to change.
Yeah, you're doing the same shit, Bob. No, you're wrong.
You ever even looked? Have you ever looked?
Yes.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't see shit.
That's with your naked eye.
You're blind then.
All right. Now you're done. Now I can speak. The consequence of you seeing it with your naked eye, if that thing is the size of the football field at 200 and something miles, it means that's a fucking lie. There's no object that you can see of that size at 200 miles. It's retarded. It's fucking retarded. Well, we're talking about naked eye. Why you guys keep bringing a fucking?
You're a telescope.
All right. Rumpus.
That's amazing. How much more
are these
about
people
the real world are you
retarded?
going to deny?
Am I not making myself
You're
clear?
a lens denier. You're a telescope
They say with
denier. Amazing.
You said with a naked eye, idiot.
No,
don't you?
Listen to what we said. We said you can.
You
see,
said with the naked eye.
How about not interrupting me? And Bob and I said you can see it with the naked eye, i.e., you can see the blob.
All right, there you go. That statement alone. Let's not.
How about letting me? How about having the courtesy? Let me just finish a sentence.
Because I'm not arguing about the fucking telescope.
You're just so rude, aren't you? We both.
I'm not arguing about the telescope. Don't bring telescopes into the conversation.
Why are you interrupting me? Why can't you?
Because you're bringing something that I'm not arguing about.
then you can correct me in a minute. So if
All
we
right.
both said you could see the bright light that is the ISS, but you can't see any detail, as Bob very clearly said. But if you want to see the detail, you then have to use a zoom lens, which is what Brian is trying to do. And people like Astronomy Live have done this, and they've got videos out showing it in magnificent detail where it's filling the whole frame. But he had to do that by tracking it with an astronomical mount. Go ahead, a motorized mount.
Great fucking straw man. I never said anything about the fucking telescopes. So you just went in a rant for the past 2 minutes about saying something. See? Now you're interrupting me. You went in the last 2 minutes. No. I went out of the fucking statement. I went out of the statement that you said that we see it with the naked eye.
Which we do.
That's what I said. That statement alone means that shit is not at that distance. You shouldn't be able to see it. Plain and simple.
So what? Right, you're saying that we shouldn't be able to see it with the naked eye. Is that your point?
Yes.
Well, it's a very bright thing. We can see stars, you know. It's a point source, but it's a bright point source, and therefore we can see it. That's why we can see it. We can't see any detail because it is just a point source, as far as our eyes are concerned.
It looks like Venus going across the sky, so it looks exactly like Venus. Same
I don't think
size.
it's as big as Venus, Bob. Is it? I don't think so. I think it's more a point source.
No, it's pretty much like Venus. Looks just like it.
Yeah.
Very easy to see. Very easy to see with your naked eye.
And the
if
size
you want to see details, use a telescope.
The size are comparable, right, idiots?
I don't think it looks like as big as Venus, Bob. Not from my memory.
Hey, shout out to James Mays. Thank you very much. $20. I thought all lines are curved. Moron rumpus. I'll have to read it. I think he already did read it, but I'll have to read that to him. Thanks, James.
So, and if we say it's 100 meters big, so it's got an angular size in degrees of. Oops, no, it's good. Nearly there. So it's got an
Now,
angular size of.
what's the relevance of you sitting down and saying that it is, well, it's only 3 arc seconds and Venus is 4? What the hell is the relevance of that? None.
Well, I
Thanks
thought it
for
was
making their argument for them and adding
No.
an element of confusion to it.
Here's the problem. When you say
I want to make
this
sure
is
they got the
stars,
right information, Bob. And if you're correct, then fine. I mean, if I'm wrong, I thought the angular size of Venus was rather big, and I don't. I mean, you want to be correct, don't you? So the angular size in degrees of the ISS is 0.013 degrees, which is less than the angular resolution of the human eye. Whereas Venus, so that's why it's a point source, as I said. Whereas Venus, the angular
but that's
size
if the ISS is up there. You haven't proven that the ISS.
Well, that's another
is
issue.
actually up
Okay, we
there.
can talk about, but that's another issue.
another issue. Don't.
Yeah, we
let's
can go
not.
into that, but we're talking
I
about
just want to keep.
issue.
Okay.
So Rumpus, see, I don't know if you guys understand the magnitude of what you guys are saying. A football-sized object at 200 miles, you will not be able to see the shine or anything at that distance.
Well, you can. You can see.
It's too fucking. It's too.
You can
need to
see it at
understand how
1,000
point
miles.
sources
Did you
work.
say a football object? Did you
You
just say
can
a
see it
football?
at
Did you
1,000
literally say a
miles.
football?
Football
You can see
size.
it at
That's what they say. That's
1,000
what they
miles.
say is the size of. That's what they say is the. They say is the size of the ISS. That it is
No, it's
a.
not a football, dude.
Rumpus, correct me if I'm wrong.
Football
Is it or
field.
isn't it?
It's not a
Football
football.
field.
It's bigger than a
Football
dude.
pitch.
I'll be within
Football
a second. I'm
pitch.
just trying to do what this calculation of what the angular size of Venus is. I've only got it in arc seconds. I'll be within a second. Give me 30 seconds.
Oh, you're hang up on that one, huh?
Well, I'm just trying
Who
to work.
cares?
Give me a moment.
Go to.
Well, I don't know who's asking you, Rumpus. I'm not asking about. Oh, you
Silent.
want to correct Bob? Okay.
Silent.
What's up, Chad?
Someone brought the satelloons earlier, and those satelloons are only 100 feet in diameter. Where? Only 100 feet in diameter. Yeah, and 4 times the distance. 4 times the distance of the ISS.
The angular size of Venus is approximately 1 arc minute.
I've got an angular size for it of 9.7. Varies.
Hey guys, help me out. I don't understand what the argument is anymore. What are you guys trying to work out?
Well, someone, I can't remember,
so Brandon,
it's too small to see. Basically, someone's saying it's too.
So
small
I'm bringing
to see.
I'm bringing up that they were not able, will be able to see the object, right? And they got hung up on what the size of Venus and the size of the ISS is from the Earth or some shit like that.
0.00054 radius.
I've made it very clear you can see Venus. You can see the ISS from 1,000 kilometers away.
Yeah, that's retarded, Bob.
I don't
You're
care
just
if you think it's
fucking
retarded or not. Look up and fucking look at it.
Yeah, that's
Get out
not
of
at
your
that
basement.
distance then.
Get out of your
Idiot.
basement and go
It means
look
it's
at
not
it.
at that distance. It means it's not at that distance, moron. That's what it means.
No, point sources. You can see point sources. You just can't see any detail of them. The fact you don't understand this is your problem. If you have a very bright point source, you can still see it, no matter how far it is.
I cannot handle with this much stupidity. I'm
Why would
you don't
it? Why would it matter if it's a point source or not? How far away
Right,
you
there's
can
a
see it from?
state, right, because even if something is smaller than the resolution of the human eye, you can still see it as a point source because it's emitting a lot of light.
Well, that doesn't make
And-
any sense. If I take something that's not a point source, if I
Well, it becomes a point
keep
source with
moving it away
distance.
from me, hold on. If I
Yeah.
keep moving it away from me further and further and further, wouldn't it become essentially a point source?
Yes.
So that means that there is no limit to how far we can see anything all the time then.
Correct. If it's bright enough, you will be able to see anything no matter how far it is away.
So the resolution of our eyes doesn't mean anything then.
No, it means you can't see any detail of it, but you can see that it's there. If something is a long, long way away, beyond much smaller than the angular resolution of your eye, you can still see there's something there. It acts as a point source, and providing it's bright enough, you will see something.
What will it look like?
Just a point source. It'll be whatever the color is of the thing, but it'd be a point.
He's saying like a star, Brandon, like a
And you can
shiny
still
dot.
see it.
Most stars
So
are
it's
point
not
sources.
lower than the resolution of your eye then.
Yes, it's smaller than the resolution of your eye. Yes, you can still see things that are smaller than the resolution of your eye. Remember the resolution of the eye. Remember the Rayleigh criterion is whether or not two things look like one thing. It doesn't say that the one thing disappears. All the Rayleigh criterion, which is the angular resolution of your eye, is to tell you when two things cannot be distinguished from one thing. They merge into one. That doesn't mean to say you can't see it. The one thing.
A very good example of that is the Jovan system. For example, there are 4 moons going around Jupiter. You can clearly see the dot of Jupiter in the sky, but you don't have the resolution of your eye to make out the moons unless you use binoculars. Then you can see the moons.
Do you have anything on Earth? Is there any experimental evidence
something
of
real
this
quick?
on Earth
Jupiter's-
that we can refer to?
Jupiter works fine. Jupiter is a perfect
No, it
example.
doesn't
Go
work
look
fine.
at
'Cause
Jupiter.
we can't verify how far away Jupiter is. Is there anything on
Brandon,
Earth?
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, really quick, I just want to point out that a 3.5-inch signal mirror on Earth can be seen from 20 miles away.
How does that compare in scale to what we're talking about?
The ISS, why wouldn't we be able to see its reflection of the sunlight reflecting off of it?
I mean, is that same in scale as our supposed distance from the ISS, or is
I mean,
it
something
smaller or
3.5
larger?
inches wide from 20 miles
3.5
away.
inches at 20 miles versus
3.5 inches.
and you can see
A
the
signal
flash of
mirror.
light.
You know what a signal mirror is?
Yeah. No, you're
Yeah.
right. You can see that.
It.
So, okay.
At 20 miles?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh shit! That's a great flat Earth proof.
that's what I was just
20
asking
miles,
for.
huh?
Well, what I was
up
just
on a
asking
mountain.
for was
A signal mirror.
evidence on Earth, and that sounds like it. So,
It's not at night, it's during the day.
It's during the day, and we don't signal from the ground. It's usually on top of mountains.
yeah.
I would like to see that demonstration.
So we can see
Where
this
can I
thing
see
up
it?
in the sky from a long ways away.
Brandon, Brandon?
What does it matter?
Brandon. All right, just to help you guys out a little bit, 3.5 inches is 1,028 times less. It's 1,028th the size of the ISS. If you can see a signal mirror from an airplane from 20 miles that's 3.5 inches wide, you should be able to see the ISS from 20,000 miles, just to help you out.
Well,
And Bob, by the way, you're correct. Venus and the ISS have a very similar angular size.
All right. So that sounds like we should be able to see something if it was that far away. So I'm not sure that
Okay.
that falsifies it.
Venus is like 11 arc seconds.
All right. So we have this thing in the sky. We can see it flying around. I don't know why we would argue against this. That's what I don't understand. So there's something up there. I think it always comes back to what it is and how it's there.
Well, the reason why I'm arguing is because I don't think that is that far. I think is they have like a whole system of, let's say, ISS airplane shape, like flying around the plane.
Citation, please. Citation, please.
Just we can see the shape of it. We
No,
can see
come
the
on.
shape, we know the height.
You have evidence it's an airplane.
You see how they went fucking crazy?
Wow, guys. Wow.
You see how they went mental?
This is going back to the discussion we had
You guys
earlier.
really got
Because
triggered on that one.
I have done the calculation to show what height it was at, so we know the distance.
It was just
I've
an
done the
alternative
math,
explanation,
and
right?
verified
And these people went mental.
It's all going to come back to the same argument.
Oh.
It's always going to come back to the.
I don't care to entertain
Yeah,
these
it's
people.
so
Brandon. These
stupid.
guys-
Like, the extent you'll go to deny something, it's sad.
We verified the
shut the
distance.
fuck
I've
up.
done it
Go lick
mathematically
the
from
government's boots some more.
observation. So if you can't just say it's not that distance away, we've done it geometrically. We've done the calculations. We've used an observation. We've got an answer, and it agrees with what NASA says it is.
Yeah, it comes back to the same argument as far as perspective versus your angular size, like the
Brandon
same
denies
thing we were looking
trigonometry.
at the other day with
Well, your
the mountain.
trigonometry denier then.
The
Well,
mountain.
your trigonometry denier then. Okay, your geometry
You have
denier.
you
Okay,
have to
that's
turn
what
it
you do.
into absurdity.
We
can't
have, if you
even-
do the geometrical calculations, you end up with the same height that NASA claim. I have done the calculations myself, and so have other people.
That's fucking fantastic. But
right, so but you seem to
you
be
end up
denying the
with those
distance.
same calculations lead to absurdities like
There's no
Rufus
absurdity. What's
fucking
absurd?
giant
What's
mountain.
absurd?
I have done the other calculation, and it
What's
showed a
absurd?
flat plane, Grumpus.
What's absurd? You just said something
The
absurd.
angle size
Absurdity
of
I'm
the
sharing
mountain.
on my screen. The
I have
fucking
done the other
giant
calculations.
hidden mountain.
The angular size of the mountain.
This is
Oh,
I have done
absurdity.
the other.
It's absurd
So
because
this
you're
is
a
what
flat
your
earther.
calculations lead to is this kind of absurdity.
Right.
Which is
Right. So are
correct.
the calculations wrong, or are you wrong about the shape of the Earth?
The
Like I
calculations
say,
wrong.
I did that calculation. The ISS
calculations
is not
wrong.
there.
Yeah. We all everybody who can do the calculation agrees what the result
Everyone
is.
can do
and
this
you-
calculation. It's a very simple calculation. Don't make it sound like you're a fucking genius
Okay,
for being
then,
able
alright,
to calculate angular
And in
size.
which case then, you should be agreeing with myself and Ruhif about that.
No,
the
because
angular
this is
size.
stupid. Look at this picture
No,
on the
it's not.
screen and look at this mountain. This is what the mountain you're
You're
saying
not
the mountain
sharing-
size is. You're saying the mountain's
I
this
can't-
size. This is what we
You've got to
see.
share your screen, Brandon.
There's
You're not
no
sharing
evidence.
anything in Discord, Brandon.
You're not sharing.
Can you see it now?
Hang on.
Love the
I know what it is, but sure. Go.
Yeah.
You can see it? Okay.
Yep, we can.
This is the absurdity that your calculation leads to. The idea that this mountain we see is actually this mountain and that there's, I don't know,
It is.
Yeah.
4/5
It leads to
of
the
it hidden
absurdity that the
underneath
Earth is a globe, Brandon.
some
That's what it leads
curvature
to.
that we don't have any evidence of in this picture. We don't see
Yes,
any
you do.
curvature.
If you follow
The
that
idea that
panorama,
mountain extends down to here and that where this mountain is, sea level is down here, that's an absurdity.
They believe
but
that? No.
Yes, that is what they believe.
No.
Again, do you
Yes.
deny perspective, Brandon?
See, and
You
then they're
deny
going to play these
perspective and
little
angular size.
sophistry games about, oh, you deny perspective, you don't know how to do trig. They're going to try to make me take a math quiz on trigonometry. But if you look on this, look at this fucking picture, and it's obvious this is wrong what you're saying.
Why is it wrong?
Can you see
You
my
calculated
screen,
it.
Brandon?
This is where we divide the people into those who can think for themselves and those who
And those that
have
don't
a fucking
understand math.
calculation that they've been told is correct
Brandon,
and
those that
can't
don't understand math.
fathom it being wrong.
Brandon,
And those
can you
that
see
don't
my
understand
screen?
math. Right, got
I'm
it.
using the panorama,
Understand
and if you
math.
go over to Marseille, which I think was it Bram was on here getting all confused about where Marseille was. If you go over to the relevant point of the picture, you will see this little thing here, which is this what's it called? The Notre Dame de la Garde. And you can see that it's just managing to peak above the horizon. And look how high it is. All of this area underneath Notre Dame de la Garde, whatever it is missing. And this is proof of
You
the
mean on
veracity
that
of the Earth.
day? You mean
No,
on that day,
it's
Rumpus,
just
under
proof
those
that you
conditions,
Globers
right?
are really biased.
Just on that
What-
particular
what-
day, though,
the
right?
evidence.
Yeah.
You guys are
We've got
really
a photograph.
biased.
We've got a
can't let go
photograph
of
of
the
this
ball.
thing. It's hundreds of meters in the air, and yet it's just on the horizon.
Yeah, we see
So
it.
therefore, it
But,
proves that the
but just
Earth
on that
is a globe.
particular
And
point
this
in
is
time, right?
and this,
at
what's
that
more,
particular
this is
time.
taken from 9,000 feet. So it's
Right,
not
right,
like
right.
it's not
9,000 feet.
it's
But
not
at a
taken
particular
from
time.
near the surface level. So we know the
At what
refractances
time?
are very small. And
At what
what's more,
time, Rumpus? What day? What
matter.
time?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. You don't think it
Yeah,
would change the
wait
next day or a
yeah.
month later? You're
Because
a
this is
fool.
up from 9,000 feet. The
Yeah,
atmospheric
what time
conditions
of day?
doesn't
What
matter.
day was it?
It
Doesn't matter.
I would
matter
agree.
what.
We
When you're
have
when you're
valleys.
up 9,000 feet, you
Rufus,
do not get subjected to all the
Rufus.
wacky refraction things like mirages
So
and
you're not
black swan
looking
type
down.
conditions.
You're not looking through any other atmospheric conditions.
Well, you are looking down. This is looking down from 9,000 feet down.
Right.
to
So you
the
would
height
be
of this
looking
thing.
through some thick air at some point, right?
Yeah, but much less
Very
than something like the
minimal.
black
You know,
swan. Yes,
no.
minimal.
If you're closer to the object, if you're only a mile away but you're at ground level, you're looking through so much of that thick air, right? But if you're
Yeah.
9,000 feet and further away and you're looking at the same object, you're still looking through thick air, right?
No, only at the end of the
No.
only at the end you are doing that. You're looking coming
You sure
down at
about
an
that,
angle.
sir?
Yes, we're
Are you-
sure we know. Yes, we're
Okay.
sure here.
So on a different day, it wouldn't look any different, Rufus?
Correct.
Hardly any difference at all.
Hardly any different. So different.
Hardly any difference.
Negligible.
So
Negligible.
different.
Negligible.
How negligible?
the hell up.
Very
Those
ne-
distances,
That's the
at
definition of
those
negligible. It
distances, a
doesn't
couple.
make a difference
Hold
to the
on.
argument. Negligible.
Prove it.
At those distances, a couple pixels are a long distance. So
Prove
shut
it.
up.
Show me pictures on every day at every condition and prove your
Fuck's sake,
claim.
Rakia.
Where'd you get negligible at? Where'd you get that at?
Because
Did
I've
you
studied
just say?
fucking weather
Yeah,
balloon
if you don't-
data.
Are you
and the
recording?
refraction up
Are you
high
recording,
barely changes at
Ruhiv?
all.
Just in case
Oh, Jesus,
If
Rakia.
you
It's
studied
flip
Throw
up so
shit
you can
against the
see
screen.
me.
studied the literature on
Prove your
refraction,
claim.
you will know that if you are doing it from a high point, you do not get
Roboting Rakia.
the conditions are very stable, and you get the same effect repeatedly.
This is
Yeah,
Rakia,
you're
it's
cutting
been
it
an
out,
hour,
Rakia.
Rakia.
the screen.
What about my answer?
Well, you guys claim that this is the mountain being hidden. Okay, so left to right, where is that at? We should be able to observe that. That's a pretty great amount right there. Okay, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it's
Why we
30
don't
degrees.
observe it left to right? Why we don't observe
Right.
a great
Why
amount
don't you
left to
guys
right?
challenge a one-on-one somebody?
That is an intelligent question, and the reason I suspect is that this is using something that moves left to right to take its picture, and that's why it doesn't show the curvature you would expect. Because this is 33 degrees. This span here, from one end to the other of this panorama, that is 33 degrees. If you look at that on Google Earth, you can see it goes from the Bay of Biscay, not Bay of Biscay, the coast on the southern part of France, all the way to verging on bits of Italy, and that covers 33 degrees as a field of view over which you would expect to see curvature. But this is taken like lots of slices and moves the camera. It's not taken as one shot where you would see the curvature. This is taken as a series of shots.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
Where the camera moves.
All right, I just want
You
to
don't
make
know
clear
that.
for the audience what it is that these guys say is going on in this picture. This mountain right here that I have my cursor on
Hang on.
is represented by this red line. Its height, its altitude above sea level, and the bottom of this red line is where sea level should be. They've calculated the angular size, the same math we've been talking about, the same math that everything's based on essentially. And so if I stripped away the Earth here,
Yeah, if you
and
could see
I could
through
move
it.
all
Yeah, if
the
you could
earth
see through the
between me
land.
and the mountain, I would see a
Yeah.
mountain standing this high off of sea level, and I would see sea level down here. They think that there
Correct.
is
No,
a curve that we don't see in this picture, that this mountain
What do you
is
mean you don't
then
see it?
hidden behind a
Wow.
curve that we don't see.
What do you mean you don't see
Where's
it?
the tangent
Okay.
point here then? I want to know where the tangent point here is. Why is it
Well,
not
it's
left
probably
or
in the
right?
land, actually.
It's probably
It's
in the
explained
land.
to you why it's not left or right. Did you not understand?
It's not in the shoreline where the shoreline is because they're like 2,000
that's
feet
worked out.
above, right? So it should be right up to the shoreline.
What
No,
I think it's in the
talking
land.
about?
Time to
The geometric where it starts to
peel
dip
back
down.
one of truth's protective
It doesn't matter. We
Yeah, the
don't
horizon.
see any
I think the
curvature in this
horizon's on
picture
land.
at all.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
No,
But I'm
when
just
you
using the
say,
math.
Brandon, when you say you
Someone's got
don't
an
see
open
curvature, what do you mean?
We don't. We see
I'm
just
not
I mean,
talking
we
to
do
you,
not
idiot.
see
see
curvature
land.
in this picture. We don't
No,
have anything
we
we
don't.
can
Yeah.
point to on this picture and go that's curvature right there. Do we?
Yeah. The fact that
No.
the mountain
No.
is 0.43 degrees high is your curvature.
No,
Yep.
no, that's
Oh my
not
goodness.
pointing. I'll move my cursor around and you tell me where the curvature is. Just tell me when to stop.
What do you say?
All of
There,
I don't know what you're
everywhere.
doing.
The
Just sum it
water's
up for
curved.
everybody.
Everything's
That is
curved.
Yeah.
so
that
hilarious.
water looks like a piece.
Anybody
going
gonna
to
tell me when to stop
Bro.
on the
It's
curvature?
curved
But
everywhere.
what do you mean? Not
Oh, it's
you
everywhere.
can't see curvature.
Right.
Everywhere.
I mean, there is nothing I
Where
can
the
visually
curve
look at
starts.
in this picture and point to and put a dot on and say, this is the curvature.
No, what
It's
do you
all curved.
expect to see?
You are,
What are you
you
expecting to see if
are,
there were curvature?
you are reading curvature into this picture based on what you expect to see.
What
This
is
is not a
model
picture of
prediction?
curvature.
Where's the rest
We
of the
know
mountain, Brandon?
we
What,
know the
yeah,
angular
what are you
size of the
expecting to see if
mountain.
there was curvature?
Therefore, we know where
On
the
your
base of the
model.
mountain should
There,
be.
Rumpus just agreed with me. Thank you, Rumpus.
What do you
What did I
expect to
say?
see? You expect to
I
see
don't
the
know.
whole
I
mountain?
wasn't
Are you
aware of
I
that.
don't
expecting to see if
expect to
there's
see anything. I'm just making an observation
no,
that I
Brandon,
don't see curvature in
there
this
is
You're making
picture.
curvature,
observations that you don't
This
understand.
is so
That's
hard
correct.
for you guys to understand.
if
We
there
all
is
say a
curvature,
picture is
what are you
reality, and
expecting
then
to
you
see?
say you don't expect to see the curve. It's not
If it
reality,
wasn't-
right?
If the Earth was flat, you would see the entire mountain. You don't see the entire
How
mountain.
about me and Brandon?
We
No,
do
that's
see
not
the
this.
whole
That's
mountain.
like
What do you
the
mean? We see all the way to the
audience.
bottom of
That
it.
was a
What
Guys,
are you
calling
doing?
that,
too many
Brandon.
Yes, we
talking.
do.
Too many
We're
talking.
seeing.
The thing's 9,000 feet tall, right?
We're seeing all the way to the bottom of it. We see it
Seeing to
curving
the
out.
apparent bottom of
No,
it.
we're
You
Yeah.
not.
just said that. Don, you're a
We're
fucking
not
idiot,
seeing
Don.
to the bottom of it. That's the whole
Dude,
point.
Ruh, you think
Yeah,
this?
there, Bob.
Oh
The
my!
mountain
you
is
got-
not
I got-
9,000 feet tall. It's 9,000 feet in elevation, right? It's
What?
only
Who said that?
if you look at
This is
it's not
hard because whenever I hear someone say something utterly fucking stupid, I want to mute them, and then I'll just end up
This is
muting everyone.
utterly stupid. You
well,
guys
you're
think that
trying to
thing is
make a
being
claim
hidden?
like you should be able to see 9,000 feet of mountain.
Mute
but that's
yourself,
not
Ruth.
true. There's
Nice one.
foothills that rise all the way up from sea level up to the mountain. The from the top of the mountain to the base of the mountain is only like 3,000-ish feet.
Let me.
Yeah, but we're talking about
Where
down
is
to
it?
mean sea level. That's where we're telling you where
Yeah.
the base of the mountain would be.
You
Where's
guys
that
don't
one
look
I
at
had the
this
other
and
day?
go,
The,
you know, that
the
doesn't
base
seem
of
to
the
make
mountain is
sense.
not at
So,
sea
Brandon,
level.
where's the one that I had the other
Hold on,
day?
There's a
Farming
town
Ganja,
at the
go
base of
ahead,
the
Farming
mountain called
Ganja.
the
Ruth
Cape.
doesn't care who's talking.
Its
Go ahead.
altitude is 950 meters. There's a town, you can find it on the map. It's called Eglise. It's at the base of the mountain. Its elevation is 950 meters.
Can you see it and make it out in the image?
Of course not.
Okay, then what's your fucking point?
My point is, you're acting like you should be able to see a 9,000 foot tall mountain, but it's not. There's foothills. There's land between where mean sea level is and the base of the mountain.
We're telling you we know what the angular size of this thing is from its height and from its distance away from us. And that gives you that red line and Brandon's little mountain.
Which
and
is
that shows you where the
absurd
base of the mountain
on its
is.
face.
All right, Brandon, I'll just
geometry.
tagged you in general,
You
Brandon.
can call it whatever you want. You have a calculation that you say is correct, and it results in you declaring that this mountain is hidden by Earth curve and that sea level is down here at the location of that mountain. I
Correct.
look at this picture and I go, that's fucking retarded because I'm not blind.
Well,
All right, I've posted a picture in general, Brandon. Let's look at that one as well.
Ruhip, I think if you were honest, you would do an analysis
run away
of
from this
Google
picture.
Earth,
and you would scale
the
this
same
picture
picture, you
into
fuckwit.
Google Earth. You would scale the picture into Google Earth. I've seen you do it before on other J Tolan Media's videos. And so if you were honest, you would do that. That would prove to you whether we're missing part of the mountain or not.
He's being perfectly
You'd
honest.
like to see it in Google Earth? We can do that.
Yes, scale the photo to Google Earth.
Yep. You're
So
aware that
let's
Google
just
Earth
say
doesn't have
part of
reflection,
the
right?
bottom is missing. What's the problem?
What's the problem if
higher
the
you
bottom of the
go-
mountain is missing? Did you
Rakia,
seriously just
not
say that?
part of the bottom,
Yeah, well-
dude. Look how much they think's missing.
Yeah,
No, I'm
that's
just-
ridiculous.
We can see down to like here. They think all this is being blocked by some unseen fucking curve.
That's crazy, but I mean, you know, in other observations, you know, the
That's
bottom
Bring up the
wild.
picture
is
as posted in
obstructed by
general.
something, but we've clearly shown that it can be obstructed by other things. Ruhif has also agreed that it can be obstructed by other things.
Did I say it can be obstructed by Rakia?
Mirages?
If you're
Inferior
referring
mirage.
to
Show me the
inferior
inferior
mirages, those
mirage
are
in this one,
tiny.
dickhead.
Yeah, they're not relevant to this image at all.
Why'd you add dickhead to that? Are you
Because you're a
recording?
dickhead.
Are you recording?
It's fucking live, you idiot.
Because you don't understand
You
what
hope
inferior
someone
mirages
sues
do.
me. Hey, Ruhif, am
From
I a danger
9,000
to
feet,
people
you
if
don't
I
see
do
inferior
construction
mirages.
and I'm a flat earther?
From 9,000 feet, you don't see
You build
inferior
a bridge
mirages when
or
you're
a
looking
building.
down.
It's all compressed, Rumpus.
So
It's
if I
all
build
compressed.
foundations, I'm a danger to people and you're going to turn
No
me in?
compression.
Build foundations.
Yeah, foundations to
concrete,
big
Dave.
buildings and to airports and to houses.
Now,
Construction, you know.
I can confirm that retards can pour concrete.
So I'm talking about major foundations,
these
right?
fucking
Major
guys.
work. Am I a danger to society because I'm a flat earther, Ruhif? Are you going to turn me in and call my license board? I have a license.
Probably he does.
I've
He
taken
probably
all
will,
the
bro.
tests, been accredited by the state, right, to do this work for years and years. Have never had an issue, never been sued one time. But according to you, as a flat earther, because of my beliefs, right? Because I don't think the way you do, I should be turned into my license board and have my career taken from me.
If your job requires
Did you
a
record
basic
that?
understanding of
Hey,
physics,
hey, jackass! Did you record that? Me making you look like a total ass for what you said.
whatever, Dave, whatever.
Yeah,
Brandon, can you
whatever.
bring
Hey,
up-
moving on to Ruhif not being an ass for wanting to turn people in
Ruhif a
for their
fascist?
beliefs.
Well, you're
Brandon, can
following
you
Now,
anti-science
now,
agenda.
What we're hearing about? Is
now
fascism?
y'all can keep talking to these people and let them do their wizard work on you with these pictures and things, but it's ridiculous,
Brandon.
right? They've shown
Can
to
you-
be known liars.
Jesus, Dave.
They've
Don't
shown
worry.
to not care
Don't
about
worry,
you.
Dave.
As soon as you
Dave.
slip up, they're going to turn in the recording and have you sued or fired.
Broadcast live
Don't
on
worry about it.
YouTube.
They don't do
Sick-
anything to us. Don't worry, bro.
Sick people.
They don't
Did
do
you
anything.
call?
Science denier.
Hey, 3 years ago, Ruhif, was it you that called my employees? My
Brandon,
employers?
can you please bring up the picture that I posted in chat?
It
Are
wasn't
you
you,
serious?
Ruhif? Just say it wasn't you.
Wasn't
Jackass.
me.
I don't
You
believe
don't.
you because you're a liar.
All right. Are you
So are you
finished?
telling me that?
Do you know who it was? Did you pay him?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Brandon, can you just fucking mute him?
Ruhif
You
knows
know
nothing
you're doing
about
back
this
to the
because
picture?
over, right?
Rakia, did somebody call your employees, really?
Yes, 3 of them that I know of. The funny thing is one of them was a flat earther at the time, and one of the other ones out of the 3 is a flat earther now. They called my church too. Was that you, Ruhif? It was actually a woman.
No, Dave.
What if you know who it was? Why are you asking Ruhif?
I don't know who it was. It was a woman. That's all I know.
Right, so Ruhif's not a woman, so there we
Why
are.
would you ask me then, you idiot?
Well, he could use a voice
Prove it.
changer. He could have hired a woman,
Oh,
right?
geez.
He's the money guy.
Brandon, if
you
this guy was a
believe-
glober, you know that you would mute him, right?
Presumably, Rakia, you think society is lying to you. You think the whole society is sick, and half the people you see in the world are lying to you about the shape of the Earth. That gives.
No, I don't.
The psychological. That suggests you've
No,
got
I
a
don't. That's a lie in itself.
No.
You're assuming you think you know what I know or what I think. I do
Most
not
of the
think that.
people, Rumpus, do you agree that most of the people don't actually
Lie to
know
me,
their
Rakia.
model?
You said you'll come back in 15
A
minutes.
lot of people
You
have
lied.
to interact with it.
I said about 15 minutes, Chucky.
About
And-
was way
about.
way over.
Yeah, I'll get to you,
15 minutes.
Chucky. You're way down on the list, buddy. You know, Most people are upstanding citizens, or are great people, have outstanding character. Unlike Ruhif, most people would never intentionally record someone hoping they would slip up so they could get them sued. Most people don't lie. Unlike Ruhif and some
Let's see
others.
if you can apply the same standard to Bev. Did Bev tell me he was recording?
Bev wasn't recording hoping someone would slip up so he could sue
Yes,
him.
he was. What was the
Oh,
title
you
of the
kidding
video
me?
he put out?
You're a
Guys,
joke.
what are you
So now
guys
you're going to
talking about?
slander
Video that he
Bev?
put out.
So now you're going to slander Bev?
Oh,
When
what
he's
are you
not
guys
even
talking
here?
about?
I'll say that.
He's not even here?
Guys, can we please take this drama somewhere else?
Can I ask a question though, Ruhef? Can I ask you a question?
I
real
would
quick?
love to take it somewhere else.
Ruhif's trying to present a picture, as I understand.
Yeah.
I want to ask a question. Across soil, could you mistaken valleys and dips and hills as sphericity of the Earth?
No.
So you can't mistake that as sphere.
Let's just bring up the photo, Brandon.
I want to stay on this photo. I would like.
It's the
are there
same
any
photo.
flat earthers. Yeah, it's all right. I'd like if there's any flat earthers on here who this makes sense to, and I'm not looking to. I'm not looking to call you out or anything. I'm just wondering if there's anybody on the flat earth side that looks at this pictures and goes, yeah, that makes total sense. That is possible that mountain back there extends down to this red line.
Well, they're globe deniers, so of course they won't.
Shut the fuck up. Why, I wasn't asking you. Is there any flat earthers who think that is a possibility?
Well, I'll be honest right here. I'll be honest right here, Brandon. I see dips and grooves, and it's mountains, it's undulating, but no, definitely not hidden by that. No, hex no.
Okay. Is there any glober who looks at this?
Brandon, if we got a picture of the top of the mountain, we can establish that there's a mode of it missing, can't we? If we go and get a picture of this mountain, hey, hold on. If we go and get a picture of this particular Grand, whatever it is, Grand Ferrand, we can go and get a picture of it, and we can see what the top of it looks like, and we'll find, no doubt, that we're only looking at the top of it, and the rest of it is missing because it's got surrounding stuff or whatever. But we'll find out that we're just seeing the top of it.
Here, I'll be honest about it. When I look at that picture, my intuition says, holy shit, no fucking way. That looks very strange. Where I can see all this land, I can see the water there, and then you're telling me that the base of that mountain would be measured to essentially, that would be like a chord line that I'm looking through the earth, and that'd be the bottom. Fucking awesome farming. So anyway, I'm going to give my honest opinion here. I'm going to give my honest opinion here. So my intuition, hold on, my intuition says, wow, that seems really fucking crazy. Then I will investigate it. And what I can't say is that math is wrong. The math is approved. The math works. The math is accurate. So the math tells me that that's exactly what is going on, and I have to fix my intuition rather than trying to disprove mathematics.
So is there such a thing as using the wrong calculation, misapplying a calculation to situations where it shouldn't be applied?
100%.
Can you do that?
100%. You can use the wrong variables. You can use the wrong process. You can make a mistake along your calculation. Of course.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Whether if that mistake has been made, someone should be able to see it and say, this is the exact moment you made your mistake for this reason. You should be doing this. Until that happens, this still stands the way that it does.
I'll tell you how you can see what that mistake is, BioDuel. Here's my contention. That you see the mistake, and it leads you to think that you live on a giant fucking ball. That's there. I'm pointing it out for you right now.
Bring up the photo
this mistake that you are making is leading you to believe that you live on a giant floating ball. That's your mistake. I'm serious.
The calculation.
I'm already asking this question, Random.
Why isn't the mountain 9,000 feet tall?
Well, hold on. What is the mistake?
Perspective you retarded.
Well, hold on. We're arguing just to argue, but 1 second. What is the mistake?
The mistake,
applying
this calculation.
Globe.
Yeah.
No, I understand that you're saying that there's a mistake in the calculation. Where is the mistake in the calculation?
Mistake in the calculation.
It's
you
a
can do all of the math
misapplication.
exactly right, and it can still not be describing reality.
Do you not think that we could?
There's something wrong on its face. You were right. Your instinct is correct. This is ludicrous. What we're looking at.
Brandon, can you please bring up the photo that I posted in chat at 15 minutes past the hour? No. I wonder why you won't.
There's something wrong.
I know you'd love to run the agenda, but we were having a conversation, so I'll bring it up when I feel like it.
Brandon, he's trying to present you with an argument and evidence. So you're rejecting his argument and his evidence.
Let me say something else about intuition. Let me say something
He
else.
doesn't get to dictate when that evidence is brought up. He's not the leader of the show here.
Rupert is just trying to present you with some evidence, and you're saying, no, you're not being allowed to present you with evidence. I think that's a bit.
You're going to say something about his intuition.
No, that's not what I said.
Yeah, I'll expand on my intuition.
Let's hear it. Let's hear your intuition.
Someone's intuition doesn't. It's not required to match reality. Your intuition can be wrong. It's just your intuition.
Mike.
Leaky.
It's Leaky, shut up.
Just because it was easy to do.
Ryan!
Somebody's hot micing.
So there's nothing that dictates that my intuition must match reality. There's no stipulation of reality that my intuition is 100% correct 100% of the time.
Your whole model is built upon the intuition that those mountains were disappearing, that the boats were disappearing, the ships were disappearing because of the curvature.
Right.
Your whole model is built based upon an intuition.
No, it's not. It's based on measurements.
Yes, it is.
No, it's based on reverse engineering.
If I go and get
this guy, call it forward or reverse engineering. It's still measurements.
Looking at the top of the mountain.
So blind.
If we get a picture of the mountain, I guarantee we'll be showing us it'll just be the top of the mountain. We can see, missing the rest of it.
Yeah, we tried to do that, but Brandon.
How about we all ask Brandon to bring up the photo that I posted?
Actually,
in chat
this is what you gave
hour.
me, and Jem had me doing the ridiculous effort of trying to size this and match this up to the mountain. So, Bio, do you think that was a worthwhile thing to try to do?
Brandon, you failed to point.
Yeah, a bit.
Where the arrow is,
bit.
right? Move to Rohit's
You do.
picture.
Because, so do you not understand the vantage point of a picture and the different perspectives that you're going to get? This is the perspective of this guy from across the fucking ocean. This is the one up in the helicopter looking down at the mountains. Do you think these two are comparable? Taking this and overlaying it on top of this.
That'd be pretty similar. It's worth doing,
but
it's still similar.
No. Now I know. Come on.
We could find a better. We could find a better vantage point.
There you go, Brandon.
But it's still a good indicator of what's missing. It's still a good indicator of what's missing, even with that extreme change of point of view. It's still a great indicator.
I'm pretty sure
things are missing.
We have to get rid of everything down here.
Wouldn't take that like that.
That's close. So maybe we can use it for the top there.
Exactly. That's the point we're making.
How about we use my photo in chat to see what's missing?
No.
So I do like that. That's pretty funny.
No, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like evidence, and therefore he's going to ignore it.
Can't do that. It disproves the flat Earth, so we can't use it. We have to wave it away.
Yeah, not allowed to present evidence. Rufus, stop presenting evidence.
You're going to crack one day, Brandon. You're going to crack one day.
Why are you guys here? Why are you guys here?
To show you
that you guys in mental pain.
You guys think you can use Brandon? That won't work. That won't work.
All right, there. That's matched. Oh, that's not the right size.
I'm a bit of a masochist. That's why I'm here.
This is too big.
There you go.
Well,
it's also from the wrong angle, presumably. So we're seeing.
Yeah, it's not going to be accurate.
Yeah, but it. Yeah.
Oh, you finally
just said I could do this. I'm trying to do it.
Got one that matches the vantage point better. Shouldn't we be using that one?
I'm using the same photo.
The one that he's
I'm
got
just using. There's a peak on the left, which we know the height of. So let's use that to scale.
I don't think this side lines up very well. Oh, it's got to be.
It's going to be difficult, right? It's not going to be accurate.
Angle. Yeah,
no, let's do this. What, you guys not liking what you're seeing, or what?
No, we're fine.
I finally agreed to do it. Now you're whining about it.
Well, no, we're just saying that it's not going to be great. It's not going to be exact, but it's going to be It's giving a good impression actually. But obviously, it's not going to be as good. Yeah, exactly. You're now moaning that it's not exact, and so we're saying, okay, if you determine it's got to be exact before you'll accept it, we're going to have to find a better picture that matches it more accurately, the vantage point more accurately.
You're going to crack one day, Brandon. You're denying trigonometry, you're denying perspective, and now you're denying just a simple photo to bring up.
I know you say that.
You're going to crack one day.
Annoy me, but that's okay.
Okay.
Well, if it's okay, it's okay then. Good.
No, it's okay that he says it because he's just full of shit. So. Doesn't really bother me.
No, he's not. He's just presenting you with geometry, and you say you can do this calculation. If you say you can
shut the fuck up. You guys don't think I know the fucking calculations? Shut up.
Well, in which case,
Guys,
then you can't
have
deny. If you
never
accept the
once
geometry,
faithfully fucking repeated back to me my argument. You're incapable.
okay. In
of
which
it.
case, if you accept the geometry, you understand the geometry, then you can't deny it.
See,
It's
then I
actually
get
getting
some
better and better,
bullshit
yeah, but that angle
sophistry
there-
like that.
Got a lie to fluff.
God, you guys.
It's not bad actually. He's doing.
That looks funny.
He's doing quite a good job actually.
They're making it too obvious now.
doesn't
Everybody's
even
seeing
match,
it now.
right?
Don't worry,
It's-
people are seeing it.
You're making.
Go
a
ahead,
good job,
Rumpus.
actually,
Keep
Brandon.
spouting off your nonsense. Rumpus, how's your test going?
Well, I'm a few weeks away. We've got a bit closer. We've got one of the posts installed. I had several people with me a week ago. We went, well, less than a week ago actually, to install one of the posts. But my God, we had to trek through over 2 kilometers through the roughest terrain you could imagine, knee-high bloody thistles and things. It took us about 2.5 hours to go 2 kilometers, and there's no road access. Although I'm trying to ask for some road access. There is a sort of pumping station nearby that I'm asking the local authority for us to use because
Ericia, your mum's my pumping
25-foot
station.
bloody. We're trying to drag a 25-foot pole along with it. Is actually for 4 people was quite a task, and one of them collapsed in the process, which caused me some considerable distress. So we've got 3 more posts to install. We've also got an internet connection issue which I need to resolve, but we're getting there, and hopefully within a few weeks we will have the observation happening. But it is quite a task, even for 5 people. And I've got a whole new group as well. I've got the Cambridge Skeptics have agreed to help, and there's about 4 or 5 of them. So hopefully, I've got before I know where I am, I'm going to have about 10 or 11 people on this.
Randy, I think you're having trouble. I think the photo you're trying to overlap it is from super high above, like an airplane or something.
And it's a different angle. It's a pointless exercise.
The problem is your relative position to the foreground to the background is almost the same in this. This is what I was trying to explain, and why this is a fool's errand that we're doing right here.
Right. So why are you wasting time on this and not bringing up my photo in the chat, Brandon?
Is that? Oh, now you don't want me to explain why this is stupid. Now that I just spent
We all know
15
why
minutes doing it.
Ruhif,
Is that if you try to overlay this, because your distance to the front of the picture and to the back of the picture is so wildly different,
yeah,
as opposed in this picture where it's
thought.
almost the same distance to this relative to the distance you are
You've
from
got
the
quite a
camera.
reasonable match.
It doesn't match up.
It
You
matched
won't
quite
be able
well.
to match it up.
It doesn't.
Yeah, but
No,
but Ruhif's got a better picture that matches better. Why won't you use Ruhif's picture?
I can.
You've got a better picture for matching this peak up.
No, we've got a different way using the same original picture to scale it.
Ruhif, what's the name of the peak on the left that you've identified at 26, 27 meters?
Oh, now I've got to look it up. Hang on.
Yeah, that's what I want to know too. And here, I'll bring it up.
Hey. All right, here we go.
I can see you guys trying. Yep, you trying.
What peak do you want to know?
It is called Tate de Laup. So Tate,
Yeah.
Tete-D-E. It's to the left of Grand
Yeah,
Ferrand. Yes.
Tet de Laup.
Yep. To the left of Grand Ferrand.
Yeah.
And which one are you saying is the 2627?
That one.
Which one? This one?
Well, hang on, I can't see a screen. Hang on, what are you sharing?
We can't see what you're pointing at, Brandon.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Maybe try resharing.
Well, like you've shrunk the photograph, so we can't see what you're doing.
No, he hasn't got my photo up.
I do.
That's not your photo.
I
No,
didn't share my
There we go.
There we go.
That's it.
You're good.
Yes.
So this is your photo, is it, Ruhif?
It's the same photo. I've just identified the peak on the left.
Right.
Which peak on the? Is it this peak that's closest to the mountain?
Yes. Yes, that one.
So the name above is, because we can
The
see it
one
in
I
that
said.
other picture, right?
Yeah, and it's called.
Yeah, I'm not going to try.
Tet de la Oop. Tete de Loop.
Is that Tate?
Yeah, it's a Tete or Tet. It's T-E.
Tate.
It's T-E with a diacritical mark over it. T-E.
That
So
one.
Tet.
Yeah.
And then D-E
Yes.
space, then a L apostrophe A-U-P-E, as in Oop. I presume that means Alp or something.
Alp, something like that. Yeah. Whatever. That mountain.
It's okay. The one on the left, right, Brandon, looks like it's more zoomed in compared to the one on the right. And the one
It's
on the
about
right
2 kilometers further.
Yep, and the one on the right looks like it's overhead. This one's more straight on. So of course they're gonna look somewhat similar, but not actually, because the one is above, taking a shot from above. It looks like it. I can see that.
Jesus.
And the one you got on the
You
left
realize
is
how
straight
far
on.
away this is, right?
Yeah, okay, great. But the other one is not as far as this one is. You could tell by looking at the
2
photo.
kilometers difference. One is 365 k's, the other one's 367. All right, so we can use the same vertical ruler.
Why do we care about this mountain on the left, Ruhiv?
Because we can scale. The difference in height is 130 meters, all right?
Oh, I see. Gotcha. Right.
Yes.
Therefore, we know where the boss is.
Will Brandon do the scaling live on
Yes.
stream?
Good one.
No, I won't.
Right. So,
But I'll
so
look
the
into
argument
this. So your argument
So
is that
so
the difference between the height of this one,
yes,
and the height of this one is what? Matches your
131
calculation that led you to this?
Oh, it'd be very close, yeah. I mean, there's, like I said, it's 2 kilometers further.
May I ask something, Brandon? If you have one of those lamps, street lamps, right? You're near to it, and you have one farther, right? And it's a straight street. If I take a picture of the first lamp and then I try to impose it on the other lamp by scaling it down, do you think they're gonna the first lamp is not gonna be bigger than the last one?
Not sure I understand what
And
your
yet-
question is.
Yeah, you see those lamps that they're on the streets, right?
Yeah.
Do you understand that, or yes or no?
Yeah.
The street lights, you know, the lamps.
Oh, the one
big
closest
street
to you
light.
and the one back to you. If you scale down the front one to
No,
try to match the back one.
As you see the ones there, as you move away from the lamps, they seem to go smaller and lower, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's say you take a picture of one that is far, and then you take a picture one that is close to you, right? Right.
Okay.
We know they're the same size. If then you try to impose one into the other, one is gonna have like the half of the pole missing, but we know they are the same size. That's why these things that you're doing, they don't make sense. They don't mean anything.
Well, you also got to include the height
Do you
difference.
understand or no what I'm saying?
I understand
No,
what you're
not
saying.
really.
I do.
No.
I get what he's saying, but you also got to silent zero. You also got to include the difference in elevation on both of these photos that he has up, and how close. See, the one on the right is over water. It appears to be over water in a plane, something, a drone. What is it? The one you're showing right there. The hills are alive.
I'm so hard to fucking express myself.
I get what you're saying.
It's from a mountain.
Yeah.
This
Okay. So
picture.
that. No, not that one. I'm talking about the little one you got right there, where it says the hills are above.
Yeah, it's from a
with-
helicopter. You guys are talking about this
Oh,
comparison?
so
of these
yes,
two?
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that one's
That's
still
from a
up. That's the one
helicopter.
that we still see.
That's from a helicopter. I knew it was closer. I knew it was closer. It's more
Of
over water.
fucking course it is. No one said that it wasn't.
Okay, so why are you comparing these two? You can't compare these two.
We're not even talking about
We
this
agree.
anymore.
We agree with it's pointless to compare that, right? We've
Yeah.
got something better.
But Brandon, surely you can accept the point that Ruhiv's making. If you know those two mountains are the same distance away, and you can see the difference in them, and you know what the difference is in meters, you therefore can work out the proportion of the difference between the two peaks, and therefore where the base of it must be. It's very simple calculation.
He's not going to do it, though, is he?
I can't square that with this.
It's
Well,
exactly the
only,
same thing.
only if the Earth's a globe, champ.
It
I mean,
doesn't-
you're
literally
basically saying you
saying-
don't want to do the maths because you're worried,
Yeah,
you're
It's
scared
not
that it will give you the
about
result that we're telling
fucking
you.
math.
It
It's
is
not about the
because
math.
principle-
Brandon,
It is.
I understand
give
your
you the
fucking
explanation.
principles and your calculations. I get it.
Right. Well, you can't deny the results then. If you accept the maths, you
I
understand the
didn't
maths, you
say I
understand the geometry.
accepted it. I said I
Well, how can
understood
you not?
it.
You just said you did. If you understand the peaks,
No, I
are different
didn't.
by
I said I
100
understood it.
Well, how can you accept it then if it's basic geometry?
Because
said
it
you
leads to
understand it.
this.
Because it's which is
Yes,
correct.
it leads to the Earth being a globe, you idiot.
This
No, it
does-
doesn't. No, it doesn't.
No.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't at all.
You seem to understand the simple calculation. The difference in the peaks is a difference of 150 odd meters, whatever it is. Therefore, you can scale.
I just give you the explanation for that,
where
Brandon.
its base must be, and you can do that calculation yourself.
Well,
and you end up with
I'll
the
look
correct
at that
result.
a little more closely.
Hey, Brandon, can
I'll
you
look at
zoom
that a
in
little
on?
more closely, but I can't square that with this. This is ridiculous. This is
We know
ludicrous.
you can't, Brandon. We know that you can't.
You know, right?
Yeah, because I don't just look at something and go, "Oh, they gave me a math equation and I applied it and it came out with this, so this has to be correct."
Yeah.
There's another way that you can verify it. There's another method to verify it. And that's what Ruhif is providing. There's two methods that we have right now to verify that.
You know,
what?
Can you make the mountain? You're trying to compare. The mountain has depth, right? And so you're trying to compare. You're trying to compare that little bit of difference between the two heights. Those are close in alignment.
That's not
but
the
that
only
mountain
way.
actually comes towards you quite a bit. So
No, it
trying
doesn't.
to just
It's the same distance away. The two peaks are almost identical distance away from the observer. Therefore,
Less
you
than
can
1%
use
difference.
Rumpus,
Exactly.
that mountain is giant. So you're with the
Right,
part
but we're
you're
just
looking
talking
at
about
the
the
mountain
peak.
in
How
the
is the one
middle.
next to it
It's
then?
much closer to you than the top
No, the
is.
two
We're only
peaks.
talking about the peak farming.
The
That's
two
the only
peaks
thing being talked about.
are the same
I
distance away.
understand that, but the point where the peak is probably thousands of meters from where the middle of the mountain is.
No one gives a fuck about the middle of the mountain. We're talking about
No. Say that
peak
again.
to peak.
Brandon, wait. Go on, Jeff.
Just
Can you
go-
compress? Can you
go
compress
into
it?
Google Earth.
Can you
Go
compress it
into Google
horizontally?
Earth,
Hold on.
Go on,
Farming
did you say
Ganja, go
the
ahead.
peak is closer
Go
to you
into
than
Google
the
Earth
middle of
and
it?
look at because
how
the
much?
mountain slopes up.
Yeah, but the
mountain
peak is
much?
going to be
slopes
the
up.
thing at the top,
It's not
isn't it?
like a big. It's not like just a vertical face
But
where the
farming,
very bottom
the
is
peak
at the
is going to be
same
the peak is going to be clearly above everything. It's going to be separated from the rest of it because it's
I
higher.
understand that, Rufus,
Right.
Rumpus, right?
Good.
But the mountain slopes down
We don't.
towards
That's
you
not relevant.
a lot.
Not relevant.
It's not
The
really.
mountains probably have trees on them too, but we don't give a fuck about that part.
We only
No,
care
no.
about the
I
distance
understand what
between
he's
the
saying,
two
but it's
peaks
irrelevant.
farming. We've got
Just
two
go
ways.
into Google Earth and look at it. You can see the mountain is freaking huge.
Yeah, we
And
can
we
see it in
tell
in
you
what Brandon is
bottom
sharing.
of the mountain closer
Right.
than top of the mountain.
Right.
Here-
We don't care
peaks are
about
the same
halfway up the
distance
mountain,
away.
right? We're talking about the top and drilling a
peaks.
line straight down.
Yeah.
Right?
we're
We don't
doing this
care
line
about
straight
the
down.
slope of the mountain.
It could be an extreme slope. It could be a not extreme slope. It could be a point on top of a cube. It doesn't change what the argument is.
Because the two peaks, we can see the vertical difference between the two peaks. The vertical difference, not the horizontal, the vertical difference. And
so
therefore, if we
then
know
you're
that's
trying
150
to
meters,
scale that vertical
if we know that's
difference,
150 meters,
you're
or we can
trying
work
to
out where
scale that
scale it
vertical
up to find where the base of the
part
mountain
of
is.
the mountain that's much closer to
Brandon.
you.
Yeah,
The
we
peaks
don't
are
care
not
about the
Hold on,
slope
they're
the
in
of
the
same
middle.
mountain.
distance away. The peaks are
don't
the
care
same
about the
distance
slope.
If you
away.
were honest, you would just go into Google Earth and look at it from Google Earth,
Yeah,
right?
we don't
doesn't
care
make any
about the
difference, only the
slope of
peaks.
the mountain.
The slope is irrelevant.
We're
Can you
talking
compress
about the peaks.
Can you compress the picture that you're imposing on a horizontal
I don't understand what you
to
mean.
where it fits
What?
the horizon? Can you
Don't
compress
understand.
it?
Don't
Can
understand.
you?
Yeah, can you compare them?
This and
That would be.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
No,
can
No, you
not
can't compare
compare.
that.
Can
Well, I
you
can see this. You see the foreground
compress?
of the, on the right.
Compress.
photo.
Can you like shrink? Can you shrink the picture in a
Yeah, I already tried.
horizontal
You
manner?
can't do that. You can't do different angle. The one
I
on the
could,
right
but
is much
we're
higher.
never going to be able to match this picture up to this.
Correct. So why are we still on it, Brandon?
Someone just asked about it, you asshole. Did you not hear that?
Yeah, but you've been deflecting on this fucking picture for 20 minutes.
I have?
Yes.
No, I haven't.
I
bring
said
up
it's
mine.
compression. That's what it is. Compression in the bottom.
All right. So
It's
where's
very
this?
simple.
Perspective.
We can see the vertical difference in the picture. We can see the two peaks in the picture. We know the heights of the two things in the picture. Therefore, we can say that that gives us a scale vertically, and therefore from that, because we know what the scale is in the image from those two differences, we can then work out using that scale and
Shut
saying,
the
right, what
fuck up.
we know the height to the
know.
mountain. Well, the other guys don't seem to understand this. Perhaps you've understood it, Brandon, but these other guys haven't.
Rumpus, any optical effects in play here?
No.
So which mountain is that?
No, what was that?
No, there are no optical effects here because we're from 9,000 feet. There are no optical effects. The relative positions do not refraction
no
in this
barrel
particular case.
distortion,
Well,
there's
because
no
the refraction will
compression.
only move things up and
What's the
down with
size
standard
of the
refraction.
ISS?
It's not
Which
compressing
thing is-
things. So we do not need to worry about refraction here
You lose
because we're
credibility
worrying
when you
about
say something
relative
like that.
positions.
Which thing is the size of the ISS on the ground?
Why are we talking about
Listening to these conversations, Brandon, sometimes I think that this is what happened back in the day. There was people arguing about this, but these people were in positions of power.
Yeah, there were science
these
deniers
people
and there
are
were people
so-
advocating science. Yeah.
These people are so stupid. They cannot
Yeah,
see
the science deniers.
beyond their eyes.
We heard you, preacher.
Yeah, so they
To say no
And,
optical effect. How far is this distance?
very
9,000
fucking
feet
sad,
out.
you know.
There are science deniers. Yeah, there is.
What's the distance you're viewing through an optic?
350. I think it's 350
Doesn't
odd
matter
kilometers.
here.
What type of optic are you looking through?
Doesn't matter.
We're looking at two
here.
peaks. And they're 350 kilometers away.
Yeah, but what are you using? Camera? Telescope? What?
I don't know what was used. I presume it was a telescopic camera.
You would presume it had glass in it, like an optic?
Of course.
Here's Rakia with the important questions. Here we go.
Yeah.
No, I'm just asking. No optical effect, and the
Lenses.
answer was no?
Correct, no optical effects.
How's
correct.
that possible?
Man, look how
Because we
flat
can
that
match
was.
it to a render. Okay.
How's it
Which doesn't have any optical effects.
How many degrees left or right?
I already asked that. They won't tell you. They say it's everywhere. It's all
The
over.
panorama is 33
Well-
degrees left to right. This image, I don't know.
Why you care? We're
Well, it's
talking about
2.5,
the
but they were.
vertical.
In fact, they are. It's 2.5.
They don't want. They won't answer
It's
that.
2.5
They
between
can't
those
How
two
would you
mountains.
know
that I
that?
used.
Yeah.
Now,
You don't know what
33 degrees itself.
The left right was discussed. You didn't like it. Talk about the
Dude, that
vertical.
sucker. That is flat. Are you guys, you ballers? That
I didn't
blind?
like
Look
that.
at
You
Was there any post? Was there any
How
post
about you do the
production
scaling on those two mountains?
Was there any post production?
Here is the same front,
It
back.
doesn't
left,
matter,
and right.
Dave. It matches a render which has no fucking optical effects in it, no lens distortion, no nothing in it. It matches a render.
It's not compressed. It's not compressed, you morons.
No, it's
Holy
not.
shit.
No, it's not
render.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
would
The
it be-
one and the fucking distance is
Why would it be
compressed.
compressed? Why? Why do you think it
That's
would
what
be?
perspective does. Holy shit! How many
No, it
times you
doesn't
got
compress
to
things. No, it doesn't
listen
compress
that?
things vertically. No, you
Ah.
get confused. You get confused between what happens
Whatever,
horizontally.
Rumpus. You know,
You
this
get
fucking
confused.
tiresome.
You don't
Go and argue with
understand
somebody
what
else.
perspective
Fuck
does
this.
for horizontal things and vertical things. Perspective does not compress
Logic
in the
does
sense
that,
of
right?
changing the aspect ratio. The aspect ratio is preserved by taking a picture of something, and we can see from the difference of the two peaks by seeing what the scale is in the image, and therefore where the base would be. And also, there's another way we can set the scale, because as you can see, there was 2.5 degrees between two
Why?
mountains, and that also gives us the same scale. So we've got two different
Why are
ways.
these idiots
Two
allowed to
different
build their
ways.
bullshit, Brandon?
Two
That was
different
amazing.
ways.
What?
Of
I don't
measuring
get it.
What are you
what's on the mountain. So there are
allowed
two-
to talk?
There are two
Here-
different
here's the thing.
mechanisms.
Everyone's allowed to talk in here. People say
Thank you,
shit
Brandon.
all the time.
Right, but there are two
I
different
know,
ways.
Both
we
sides.
can
but this
determine
guy
the
Flat
goes
scale.
earthers
He's
in here
fucking
talk
rants,
stupid
man.
shit all the time too.
There are two
Who's
different
saying that?
ways we can
What's the argument?
determine
We'll
the
let
scale, and they
Rumpus talk.
both give the same result.
Brandon, are you trying to match
He
this
won't
up?
stop.
With the photo?
No, I'm trying to find the fucking peak that he says that he measured to verify that he's correct about the height in his picture.
All right.
That's what I'm
So
doing.
take TETE space DE space LOPET.
Yeah, do a
That's
search
what it is in
for it.
Google Earth.
Yeah, do a search for it in the search field, Brandon.
Rumpus, does
That's weird.
perspective
It's LA.
does perspective
it's-
change with altitude?
No.
Holy
Is that
shit!
it right
you
there,
see-
then?
Perspective is perspective, Dave.
Ruhif, is that it?
Right, you're at 9,000. What's the viewer height?
Got it.
Yeah, but it's so far away. It doesn't matter whether you're 9,000 feet or 3,000 feet.
Well, yeah, it does. If something's higher than you and something's lower than you. If you have
So,
if you're at
over, a
9,000
distance of
feet,
three- over a distance of
That's all right,
350
go ahead.
kilometers, it
Brandon,
makes
it's
no
all right.
difference. If you
Hey,
understood
Rumpus,
geometry, you would
honestly
know it makes
though,
no
honestly,
difference.
Rumpus, shut the fuck up.
But he asked me a question. I'm answering him. You ban him from asking me questions now.
yeah, that's exactly how it happened, Rumpus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't understand perspective. You can't. If you went away and drew the diagram, you would recognize that being at 9,000 feet.
Wait, back up to where I don't understand. Just back up to where
understand.
you're just being a total fool and
Yeah,
trying.
But you don't understand, do you?
Just start.
I'm
act like we don't know the tactics used.
Well, you don't. But you don't understand. I'm happy to draw it for you.
Just assume that no one here is as smart as you.
Do you want me to draw it for you?
Start your sentence with who you're talking to is an idiot to make yourself look smart because your argument is so weak.
Yeah, act like an idiot and then complain about it.
Rocky. I understand.
I can explain to you very carefully, slowly, if you want.
Hey, Master Shield, what's funny is your own side doesn't want to hear you anymore. That's
Fine,
hilarious.
you know?
Which is exactly what I told you would happen about 6 months ago. You become so insignificant.
Really sad here.
You have nothing.
The calculation.
This is all you have.
The math says, the math says the Earth isn't flat. Therefore, the math must be wrong.
This is all you have.
The facts don't represent our.
Keep going, Payne. Tell us something about perspective, which was the subject, Payne. Shield. Go ahead.
Why don't you tell us something about pouring concrete and stay away from this science?
There you go. So that's all you have.
So, Rumpus, because maybe I don't know, right? In English, let me ask you: when you go away, like from a pole or like a light pole, and it starts
light pole, okay, right,
yeah, and it starts shrinking in size.
Right.
What is that called? Isn't that compression?
No, we don't call that compression. We talk about compression.
Perspective compression, you liar.
No, it's not perspective compression. No,
really?
Listen,
everybody?
No.
That's just a change of size. I'm trying to be honest with you, right?
I'm trying to answer you.
So how you call that? How you call that?
We do not call that compression. We just call that a change in angular size. This is a genuine area of confusion. For some reason, flat earthers seem to call that compression. Compression means a change in the aspect ratio. When we talk about compression vertically, that means it's a change in. Can I just finish this? When we talk about compression, when Ruhif and I talk about compression, we talk about something.
Don't go on this track.
Please, let me finish.
Man.
Trying to answer you. Fuck's sake.
He already answered. It's the annual size difference. The answer was I reduced an angular size. That was his answer. I don't need a fucking explanation.
How about having an exchange? So when we talk about
answer quick. I don't need your diatribe.
When we talk about compression, we mean a change in the shape or the aspect ratio. Perspective does not cause a change in the aspect ratio of an object. It just makes it smaller. We do not call that compression. We call that a change in the angular size due to perspective. We do not call that compression.
Which is exactly
a change in the angular size of compression? The original object, idiot?
No, we do not call that compression.
We don't care what you call it. We care what it is.
I don't care what you call it.
We call
Isn't that what is happening?
It's a change in angular size due to perspective.
Which is compression.
That's not compression.
Same
compression is an asymmetric. It means it's compression in one dimension
need to back me up on this shit. That's what is happening to that thing. That's why the argument is, and you guys don't realize it.
Say whatever they want,
if I had
and
a
then
picture of a
reset
house,
and come back tomorrow
and then I made it shorter, that'd be compressing it vertically. If I made it narrower from what it should be in real life, that'd be compressing it horizontally. That's what we mean by compression. And what most people who deal with these issues mean by compression, a change in the aspect ratio.
You got to use a little bit of imagination, you know?
Jesus Christ.
When it does it both at the same time, we call it compressed.
Brandon, where are we at? Brandon, what are we doing?
We're still trying to find this man. End of the show. So thank you to the panel for joining. Appreciate it. Didn't get too crazy tonight, so thank you very much. I'll come back. We'll record the after show, and we'll see you on Monday. Thanks.
Bye.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Hope you have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.